get themselves together, them brothers could and grow and become strong and fall into their place as a leader. But in no way in the scripture, no time a brother could be put as the weaker vessel. Because remember years ago that doctrine was being pushed.
Yeah.
That sometimes the man is the weaker vessel. Sometimes the woman is stronger than the man. You understand, sister? If you stronger than your man is weak. Listen, eventually he gonna grow. He got to grow into his spirit. But the weaker vessel in the scriptures is talking about the woman. Why? Because she was the one deceived.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Everything good there? All right.
You verse 7 again?
Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life.
And that's being what?
As being heirs together of the grace of life.
That's the part I want to deal with. Being heirs together. Heirs together. Go ahead.
That your prayers be not hindered.
So your prayers be not hindered. So the part I want to deal with is heirs together. Heirs together. Now, get me Psalms 2 verse 1. Psalms 2 verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 1. Why do the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying.
So the kings of the earth is a heathen, and the people, the rulers, is Israel, wicked Israelite, and the elders. Go ahead.
Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
Right. So that's you haters online. That's you. Cast their cords from us. Destroy that congregation. Get rid of them. These guys is teaching the laws. Get rid of these guys. They're in the way. Remove them. Get them out of here. Defame them. Slander them. That's you. That's you all over again. Back in the earth, being wicked and evil as hell. Sound with the other nations trying to destroy us. It's happening already. Go ahead.
He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision.
Because your plots and plans will be unsuccessful. No matter what you do, no matter how much informing you do, no matter how many inquisitors you have up in here, or informants you have up in here, familiars you have up in here, the Lord will laugh you to scorn because this is not going to be successful. No matter what you do or what you say. Go ahead.
Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure.
Right, eventually Most High is going to kill every last one of you. Read on. We're going to read verse 7, verse 8. No, we read down. Just read down.
Yes, sir. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion.
So yet have I set this is the Lord speaking through David. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. Go ahead.
I will declare the decree.
I will declare the decree regarding my king that I will set upon Zion. Go ahead.
The Lord hath said unto me.
The Lord. So this is David's, but this is the Lord speaking through David. This is the Lord himself speaking through the spirit of David. Go ahead. Saying what regarding himself. Go ahead.
Thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee.
Right. Go ahead.
Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance.
He said, ask of me, and I will give thee for the heathen for thine inheritance. So the Lord gave the heathen for the Messiah's inheritance. So the Lord inherits who? The nations. We read earlier that we will be joint heirs together. The brothers and sisters will be joint heirs together. Read on.
In the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
And the whole earth will be for your possession. That is part of the inheritance. So we're joint heirs to that. We're joint heirs to everything on the earth. And we're joint heirs of everyone on the earth. Go ahead.
Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron.
Right, and if they just choose to be non-compliant, we gotta, give them a tune-up. Chuck them a little bit. Yeah, okay, you're not following a what? Did you say nigga? Is that what you said to me? Oh. He said nigga. He forget where he is. He forget what he is. And slap him across somewhere. Who knows how far? Go ahead.
Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel.
So this is the inheritance the Lord gets from his Father, the uttermost parts of the world as possession, and the nations as a possession. To do what? Read verse 9 again.
Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel.
Read verse 8 again, please.
Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance.
Stop. So the them in verse 9 is the heathen, right? So here's the question I have. If not knowing you're an Israelite matters, if I'm a heathen, wouldn't I be getting dashed to pieces? Wouldn't I be broken to shivers? So wouldn't it be important for me to know if I'm a heathen or not? Based upon what we're reading here in this verse? Because if we're heathens, we got a problem. That's the Lord's inheritance. His inheritance is to inherit people. Because remember, the utmost parts of the world is what? It's inhabited. So whatever nations have now is temporary. And if they choose to not relinquish those possessions they think is theirs, then they will be broken to shivers with a rod of iron. So I think it's very, 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 very important to know who the heathen are and who Israel is. Because the heathen have a very, very rude awakening coming to them based upon what we're reading here in Psalms 2. Continue.
Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel.
Go ahead.
Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings.
So he's talking, this is David speaking to Israel. Be wise, therefore what?
O ye kings.
Go ahead.
Be instructed, ye judges of the earth.
Because eventually Israel will become the judges of the earth. They will inherit the same thing we just read verses above. Inherit the uttermost parts of the world and the nations. Right? Now, we'll get there soon. Give me Romans 8 verse 16 and 17. Let's see.
Romans.
We read in Psalms 2 the Lord's inheritance. Let's see what we get. Romans 8 verse 16.
Romans 8 verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God.
That we are the children of God. This is who Paul's writing to Israelites. We are the children of God. Go ahead. Not everybody. Go ahead.
And if children, then heirs.
And if we are the children of God, then we are what?
Then heirs.
Then we're the heirs of God. Whatever God gives, whatever the Father has, he passes on to who? His children. Go ahead.
Heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ.
So if children, then we're heirs. And we're heirs of God. And we're joint heirs with Christ. Why? Because Christ is the big brother. So he gets everything first. And he gives joints what's his, he shares with everybody else. So we're joint heirs of Christ. You understand? Because Christ is a child of God. His people are the children of God. So we inherit what he inherits, but he's the king. Remember verse 6. I have set my king upon my holy hill. So what the Lord said through David he inherited, guess what the children of God inherit? The same thing. The nations. So it would be very, very important to know who Israel is and who the heathen are, because the heathen are going to be possessions and they're going to be broken in pieces. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to be broken in pieces. So I want to know who's who. Read again, verse 17.
And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ.
Go ahead.
If so be that we suffer with him.
So the stipulation is, if so be that we suffer with him. I mean, we suffer through trials, tribulations, we overcome. That's what he's saying. We must overcome in order to be joint heirs. Go ahead.
That we may be also glorified together.
That we may also be glorified together along with him. That includes the sisters too. Because they're joint heir part of that inheritance too. So when we inherit the nations, guess what the sisters get to have? Nations. Just like Sarah had Hagar. And dealt with her any way she wanted to. Sisters going to have the same pleasure if they fall in line. So it's not just going to be a sausage fest in the kingdom. No. You're going to have men ruling over their slaves, and you're going to have women, that too, of course, that's a definite plus. But aside from that, they're going to have servants under them. You don't got to sit there and take you shopping. God, Jesus Christ. You ain't got to go to the store with you. You don't got to ask you if you can borrow the car. No. I'm going to take the car and go shopping and be gone for hours. It doesn't matter. Because at this point, you don't got to go anywhere, sisters. Y'all can go and send your slaves out. Go get me a silk dress somewhere. I want a mink coat. Yes, ma'am. That's mistress. That's what y'all get in the kingdom. Get all of that stuff. Yeah, bring me a chalice. Give me my chalice. Sisters is petty. Give me my chalice. It's sitting right there. It's sitting right there. I know. Hand it to me. Yes, thank you. Away with you. It's going to be fun. Revelation 2, verse 26. So y'all going to be good, sisters in the kingdom. Y'all going to be good, well taken care of. Right, you got to get it. Well, say it in the mic.
In order for you to be well taken care of in the kingdom, we have to be well taken care of here.
Now. Right. Revelation 2:26.
Revelation 2, verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations.
Give power with?
Over the nations.
Beside.
Over the nations.
Along with.
Over the nations.
Over. Right. Over the nations. Over the nations. Not with, not beside. There's no democracy. This is not a democracy in the kingdom. Doesn't exist. Democracy is a fairy tale. We live in a monarchy. We live in an imperial republic. That's what this is. It's not a freaking democracy. Nonsense. Likewise, it's going to be, what do you call it? I forgot the word they use. Not oligarchy. Theocracy. There'll be a theocracy. God ruled. God governed. A theocracy, not democracy. The Bible deals with theocracy. God ruling in the kingdom of men. That's what this is now. It's just, we've been brainwashed to think that man runs this. Man don't run nothing. God runs man, and man does what God says to do. Daniel 4 says that. Let's get that. Daniel 4 and 17. Oh, get that. We can get that. Get Daniel 4:17 and give me theocracy, just to clarify it. Democracy is non-existent. Put it up on the screen. Read that first.
Theocracy, a system of government in which priests rule in the name of God or a god.
Damn. There you go. Read the next definition.
The Commonwealth of Israel, from the time of Moses until the election of Saul as king.
And Solomon and David. That's what a theocracy is. And under Christ, it'll be a theocracy again. Democracy is not biblical. Theocracy is. Theocracy is. Theo means God, and Chrissy is govern, whatever, I assume. Go down. There you go. Yeah, theocracy. There you go. See? Theocracy. So, Daniel 4:17 real quick. Read that.
Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomever he will.
To whomsoever he will. Go ahead.
And setteth up over it the basis of men.
That's verse 17?
Yes, sir.
There you go. Right now we are living in a kingdom where the Most High has set up the basis of men. But we're reading the turnaround. When the Lord show up here, that election's over. Their term is over. These heathens' term is up. To time the Gentiles, their term is up. Revelation, where we at?
2:26.
2:27.
2:26.
26 and 27, yeah.
Revelation 2 verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations.
Power over the nations. Go ahead.
And he shall rule them with a rod of iron.
You just read that in Psalms 2. If we are children of God, we are joint heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ. Christ explained to us through David in Psalms 2 what his inheritance was and is. Utmost parts of the earth and the heathen. The other nations are possessions. Possessions of the Heavenly Father, His Son, and their people. That's what they are. Nations are property. I'm just going to say it flat out. Nations, the heathens, are property of God and His people. They're like slaves on the loose. They forgot their leash. Well, they're gonna get it again. We're gonna find you. We're gonna blow the whistle like you do for the dog. Where are you? Where are you, Esau? Read verse 27 again.
And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers.
It says, shall they? There's no fighting it. They shall be broken to pieces. Because they're not going to fall in line to some niggas. Not that easy. Moab fall in line to us? Oh, no. I love resistance. Resistance is good. Yeah, stop resisting. Exactly. We're going to say the same thing. Stop resisting when we're stabbing your spine. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Oh, yeah, keep resisting. One or the other. In the kingdom. One or the other. In the kingdom. But these nations are not going to just fall in line to some Negro. No, they're going to rebel. They've had too much power. They had too much freedom for too long to just give it up to some black people, some brown folks. No. Some black king, nah. We can defeat them. We got nukes. We got tanks. Okay. That makes it all the more fun. That's why I said earlier, it's very important to know who Israel is and who the heathen are. Because based upon what I'm reading, when you read through the scriptures, the heathen's outcome is not good. So if I'm going to be a heathen, I need to know. Read on. 27 again.
And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father.
Even as I received of my father. See? Even as I received of my father, those who overcome will inherit the same thing. Power over the nations, not with. So that whole Galatians 3, I be trying to pull Jew nor Greek. Jews are going to be ruling over real Greeks. That's what's going to happen in the Bible. What about the Greeks? Jews are going to be ruling over the real Greeks and Romans and Moab and Ammon and Ham and Japheth over everybody. What about some Jews and Greeks? Isaiah 60 now, verse 5. Yeah, Isaiah 60, verse 5. I'm sorry. Isaiah 60, verse 5.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 5. Then thou shalt see, and flow together, and thine heart shall fear, and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee.
The abundance of the sea goes into the pearls, that goes to the fish, that goes to all the wealth of the sea shall be converted unto you. Go ahead.
The forces of the Gentiles.
Forces, my Bible has wealth. Forces is wealth. Go ahead.
Shall come unto thee.
Shall come unto you. Go ahead.
The multitude of camels.
No, the forces of the Gentiles shall come unto you. The wealth of the Gentiles shall come unto you. The wealth of the sea. You know what's in the sea? You got all kind of rich materials in the sea. All kinds that we never had access to. God said the nations are going to bring that to you. You and your wives. Y'all going to have all of that stuff. Jump to verse 9.
Verse 9. Surely the isles shall wait for me.
The isles shall wait for thee. For me. Go ahead.
And the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from afar.
So they're going to bring us wealth, and they're going to bring all our people who are scattered abroad in these lands. They're going to bring them to us. These aren't our kids. These are your people. Because the nations know who Israel is. They know. They have record of all Israel, where Israel is, where they're at. They know. And when the time comes, they will return them. But we're going to break them in pieces. Go ahead.
Their silver and their gold.
They shall bring our sons and our daughters from far. And what?
Their silver and their gold with them.
They're going to bring their silver, which is not our silver, of course. Their silver and their gold, which is not our gold, of course. Not that crap you see now. Real silver, real gold. They're going to bring to us. Go ahead.
Unto the name of the Lord thy God.
Go ahead.
And to the Holy One of Israel. Because he hath glorified thee.
Because he hath glorified thee. Remember he said earlier in Romans, he will be glorified together. Go ahead.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls.
The sons of strangers shall what?
build up thy walls,
Shall build up our walls. Go ahead.
and their kings shall minister unto thee.
And their kings shall minister unto you and your wives. Donald Trump, what do you want? You want tea? You want bananas? You want apples? I make the best cake ever. I make it. It's best. I love it. I love it, man. Trump, be a butler? What? I'm open the door. Someone's at the door. Someone's at the door. Let me go get the door. You want me to get the door? We can get it? Can I do it? No? Yes? No?
This is good.
Oh, man. Where's we at?
The Israelites, I love it.
I love it, man. Israelites
They're the best.
are the best. They're the best people in the world. I knew it. I knew it from the beginning. I knew it. You guys are the best people.
They're my favorite.
I gave you jobs. Looked after you.
They let you breathe.
I didn't like Kamala. I didn't like her. I knew she was fake. Fake news. Fake black people. Fake news. Verse 10 again.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
But in my favor I had mercy because Israel didn't deserve it. We didn't deserve it. But the Lord said, because of your forefathers, I love for them, you inherit everything. You inherit everything. Go ahead. Verse 11.
Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night.
Why? Because we're going to receive wealth all day long. Stuff coming in from everywhere. Gold, silver, pearls, silk, gold, silk, whatever. Natural, precious, rich resources coming back and forth to you. Y'all gonna be looking. Sister's gonna be looking right. Sisters, they ain't never gonna walk. Get me my carriage. I wish to go to the bathroom. No, I'm not stepping my feet in the ground. I need you to carry me up so I can go to the bathroom. What? Listen, it's going to be amazing in the kingdom. Amazing. Where we at? We're verse 11?
Yes, sir.
Read verse 11 again.
Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles.
The forces or the wealth of the Gentiles. The wealth of the nations. Right? Remember, in Dubai, them dudes is wealthy over there. Dubai, man, listen. That's Ishmael over there. So the Lord said, I'm going to bless Ishmael. He blessed him. He kept the Most High kept his promise. Read on.
And that their kings may be brought.
And their kings what?
May be brought.
That their kings may be brought. Brought to do what? Minister. Serve. They're not going to come willingly. How are the kings going to be brought? Let's get it real quick. Real quick. Hold on. Get Psalms. How they be brought? They're just going to just tag along. Hey, how you doing? Negroes are ruling now. Can I come? No. That's not what's going to happen. Psalms 149 in verse 7 to 8.
Psalms 149, verse 7.
No, 6. Verse 6.
Verse 6.
No, verse 5. I'm sorry.
Verse 5. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand.
A two-edged sword in their hand. Bible in one hand, sword in the other. Sound familiar? In the East, so that to us. So we got to return the favor. See? Mm-hmm. That's fair. It's fair. It's all fair in love and war. Go ahead.
To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people.
To execute vengeance upon the heathen. Going back to what? Dash them to pieces. Same thing. Go ahead.
To bind their kings with chains.
To do what?
Bind their kings with chains.
To bind their kings with chains. After their kings will be brought. They'll be brought in chains. Go ahead.
And their nobles with fetters of iron.
Verse 9.
To execute upon them the judgment written.
The what?
The judgment written.
The what?
The judgment written.
Can't be broken. Scripture can't be broken. The judgment written. There's no way around it. There's no getting out. That's why they spend a lot of time trying to make sure that you guys stay in Christianity, because they know once you guys wake up, it's a wrap. Time to go up in them chains. It's time to get it's time to get what's the word I'm looking for? Permanent employment for you. Permanent employment. 9 to forever. They don't want that. Yeah.
Go on the online request. I want to talk about those pearls that the deacon was talking about. Okay. Yeah, start at 150. to like 155, just like not too long.
What, Isaiah
The
60?
pearls. The first one. The first video? Yes.
More? Okay.
Okay, he's talking about the forces of the other nations. The abundance of the seeds. This is what the world. Go to 150. Right there. Yeah, to the beginning of that. Right. Go ahead.
The French Polynesian Parliament regulation defined 4 basic qualities based on the number of imperfections found on the surface of the pearl, as well as the intensity of the luster, with an A rating boasting imperfections on less than 10%.
These are black and silver pearls. All of y'all know the pearls to be white. These pearls are black. They're more expensive. Those are part of the abundance of the seas. This is going to be bought.
You be wearing out your necks, ladies.
Right. Give me the next video. Okay.
So 900
Go to
Pearl diving?
go right there. Yeah. This is how they get those pearls, because in the other video they didn't show it. Right
They
there.
had us doing it in slavery.
Right there.
Negroes
son.
and Native Americans. So our lungs exploded.
Right there.
I don't even know if I can hold my breath for very long. So how do we practice and get better at it? What's the first stages?
The key in freediving is relaxation. So that's the first thing you need to master.
Stop.
So once you're able to do
The key to free diving is relaxation. How can you be relaxed when you're a slave? Okay, that's all I wanted. Okay.
They'll be doing that for us. And they'll be relaxed too. We'll make sure they're relaxed. They figure it out. Go back to Psalms again where you're at.
Psalms
Finish it up.
149, verse 9. To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord.
This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord. David said, why David said praise is only we have that praise. Well, that's opportunity is only ours and ours alone. To do what? Possess the nations. So again, it's very important to know who Israel is and who the heathen are, because the heathen have a judgment written against them that they cannot get out of. So I don't know what's wrong with you people in Christianity. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. I do know. That's a rhetorical question. Go back to Isaiah now. Isaiah 60, verse 16.
We was at 12.
You at 12? No, skip that. Go to verse 16.
Okay. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 16. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shalt suck the breast of kings. And thou shalt know that I, the Lord, am thy Savior, and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob.
So we shall suck the milk of the Gentiles and suck the breast. And they're going to nourish us. Whatever we want, whatever we need, they're going to give it to us. One way or another. I want black pearls. I want silver pearls. I want a golden toilet. Why? I just do. I don't know. It's in my mind. I want one. I want gum that never loses flavor. Never. Just never lose flavor. It's gum. Gotta be made from the plants. Can't be that stuff y'all used to make in America. I want some real stuff. You gotta do it. Whatever you want. Sisters, hey, I want a dress that flows down all the way there. Why? Don't ask why. Just make it. That's just gonna be it. Our word gonna be law across the board. Just as theirs is now. Oh yeah, what verse is that? 16.
We're at 17 now.
I don't want that one. Go to Isaiah 61 and verse 5 to 6.
Isaiah 61, verse 5. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks.
See, that's your wealth. Strangers shall stand and feed your flocks. Ladies, you ain't got to go out there and do it. Because back then, that was your job. Sister's job and daughter's job is to go out and feed the flock. That's what Abraham's servant found Rebekah doing. She was feeding the flock. That's what Moses found his wife doing, feeding the flock. No more. No more, sisters. That's the heathen's job. That's your slave's job now. Read again.
And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks. And the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers.
No more planting for me. You're going to plant the corn. You're going to plant the potatoes over there. You're going to plant this. You're going to plant the wine over there. I'm not doing nothing. We're going to do nothing. We're going to be the most laziest, powerful niggas on earth.
That's right.
That's what we're going to be. We lazy, huh? No, we ain't lazy yet. But we will be. Lazy niggas. Yes, soon. What verse is that?
About to be at 6.
Verse 6.
But
we read earlier what a theocracy is. Governed by God and the priests. Read verse 6 is going to say it.
But ye shall be named the priests of the Lord. Men shall call you the ministers of our God.
Watch this.
Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles.
We shall eat the riches of the Gentiles. Going back to sucking the breast of kings and so forth. Go ahead.
And in their glory shall ye boast yourselves.
And in their glory we shall. What's their glory? Their gold. We're going to rock their gold and their silver. And their pearls and their silk that they gave us. We're going to boast ourselves. We're going to be the SH forever. And no one can say nothing about it. Oh, this is your silk. I like it. This is nice. This is your land? No, it was. Now it's mine. I like your land. I'm going to take your land because it doesn't belong to you anyway. So this happens. Just go in the back over there. Go sleep. Go in the shack over there. I'll take this castle for me. I like this castle. Where's this at? Where we at? Where we at? Trump? We're in Dubai. We're in Dubai. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like this. Thanks, Trump. Yeah, we're in Dubai. I'm going to take this. I'll take this. Yeah, it's Mylandia. Yeah, Mylandia now. Mylandia. Love it, man. You gotta love this thing. Where we at? Go to Isaiah 4, verse 3. Going back to the sisters again. Isaiah 4.
Isaiah 4, verse 3. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that is remained in Jerusalem shall be called holy, even everyone that is written among the living in Jerusalem.
Everyone in Israel shall be holy. There will be no wicked among us. All Israel will be righteous. Every last one of us. No arguments, no complaining, no back and forth, no power struggle, no 50-50. That's over. No more white man influence, white woman influence, sisters. No more of that. Verse 4.
When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of
And
Zion.
the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion. Daughters is referring to the sisters. Daughter is Israel itself as a nation. Daughters is the women. When he has washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion. What's the filth of the daughters of Zion today? The filth is the feminist spirit, the big mouth, the disrespect, the whoring, the long faucet, long fingernails. Jesus Christ, I hate those things. The long lashes you can fly with, blink fast, you can fly somewhere with. That's filth. Straight filth. It's nonsense. And what baffles me the most with that long fingernail stuff, you know those sisters are disgusting. Because y'all got to use it. Y'all out all day, you got to use the bathroom, you cannot wipe properly with them fingernails. You cannot wipe properly with them fingernails. You not wiping like this. Where's it at? Wiping like this? Really? Like this? With two feet? No. There's filth all up in them drawers. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Don't lie. Don't front like you could do it. We could do it. Look, we could do it. No, you cannot. No, you can't. Disgusting. Stop doing that. Stop.
Peanut butter sandwich.
Right. All under the fingernails. Got Nutella all on the fingernails.
Yo, it's my turn to pull you back to the light. Okay?
I'm sorry.
Come to the light. Come back to the light.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Read verse 4 again.
When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion.
Right. You know what the filth is also? 911. Yeah, that's no more of that for you. You know, sisters always going to run to that number. I rule. White man, protect me. That's done. You know, most of the time when they want to go on vacation, where they want to go? They want to go to Italy, France, Paris, Spain, Greece. They don't want to go to Iran. They don't want to go there. They don't want to go to Iraq. They don't want to go there. No, Iran, no. I have no rights there. I know. They want to go to Syria. Dubai is nice. But you got over in Dubai, they don't play that over there. You got to cover your head and all that. They don't play it. Egypt too. You can't. What are you wearing? No Megan Thee Stallion. You got to take them pants off. Put the dress on, please. We're gonna shoot you more. We're gonna shoot you more places than your feet. They don't play that over there. They don't play that over there. Ain't no bomb. Ain't no bad bees in these areas. In the Eastern world, they know better. When the white man's at Western world, y'all safe to be niggas over there. But Lord show up here, it's gonna be Eastern world everywhere. Everywhere. Everything gonna be East. Everything. No sign of Western civilization anymore when the Lord show up here. No more.
Yeah, Deke, and no hot girl summer in the
None of that. None of that.
I mean, that's what they say, hot girl summer.
Hot
right?
girl, whatever. Yeah.
Hot girl summer.
That's done. Read verse 4 again. We'll spend all day on this verse. Verse 4 again.
When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof, by the spirit of judgment, and by the spirit of burning.
Destroying. He purged them by destroying the women who are filthy out here. He's going to destroy it. And he's going to save them out of that fire, and somebody's going to dip in the fire. Now, go to chapter 3, verse 18. So once he's purged that away, washed the filth away, what will they get back? Get 3:18. Isaiah 3:18.
Isaiah 3:18. In that day, the Lord will take away the...
Stop. So this is the before. He said, I will take those things away from you. Because that filth was all on y'all. It's on you now, it was on you then. So he said he washes the filth away. All these things the Lord took away, you're going to get back. Read it.
In that day, the Lord will take away
or give back
the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their calls, and their round tires like the moon, the chains, and the bracelets, and the mufflers, the bonnets, and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands, and the tablets, and the earrings, the rings, and nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel.
Stop. The changeable suits of apparel. Y'all had different suits for every different time of the day or season. This is what we're going to have way more than walk-in closets. We're going to have castle closets. Just walk into a castle, it's all clothes. That's just, I'm talking about you sisters. Now, I'm just going, Lord's will we can snap our fingers and change our clothes. That'd be a crazy power to have. Lord's will we get it. Just up, new garment, new garment, new garment. That'd be bad. But it's my imagination. Lord's will, it happens. But in the kingdom, the women are going to have multiple assortments of apparel. The Lord took those away from y'all because of the same attitude you have now, you had then. Before the white man showed up. The white man, no. Y'all were like that before. White man simply enhanced it.
Right. Yeah. Deacon, you know what's that attitude? That attitude is also going into, that judgment is also going into, you see how some sisters always try to outdo each other the way how they dress?
Yeah.
You know, back then you all was like that. You all was just like that. You all walk with the stick for neck and all the jewelry and stuff, and you always try to outdo each other. You know, sisters, you all come up in here, we tell you all wear the garment. You know, wear the IUIC garment, put it on, you know, so to take away that emulation spirit from amongst you all. But some of you all still do it. You know, you all come up in here and you all, you know, do you all dress certain way, the different, and you try to outdo each other. You know? Yeah, man. So that spirit, that same spirit that you all got on you all today, is the same spirit you all had back then.
Yep. Where we at? What verse is that?
22.
We're going to stop at 23.
Yes, sir. The changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles, and the wimples, and the crisping pins, the glasses,
mirrors,
and the fine linen.
The fine linen. That's the silk. That's all the expensive material. We had all of that before. We're gonna get it. They're gonna get it back. Go ahead.
And the hoods and the vows.
Why? Because all of us will be holy. All of us will be righteous. So it will be well deserved. During this time, it was not. So the Lord said, I'm taking it away from you. Because y'all are acting like something not holy. So I'll take it from you. Go to Isaiah 4:1.
Isaiah 4, verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our bread. We will eat our own bread.
We will eat why our own? Because you're going to have your own slaves giving you your bread. We ain't got to buy them nothing. No more. Let the slaves do it. Go ahead.
And wear our own apparel.
And our own apparel. Go ahead.
Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach.
Take away what? The filth, the disrespect. All you want to do is be called by your name. All we want to be is your wives. That's it. Serve you. Like, come to America. From the moment I was born, I was bred to serve you. That's what she said. And that's biblical. That's what she said. I was made to serve you. That's your purpose. But sisters are like, nah, I'm not made to serve nothing. I'm made to serve me. You're going to serve death too. When them bombs drop here then. You'll serve the flame. Keep it going. When the nukes drop, serve that. Since serving your man is too hard for you. Maybe serving a nuke will be better. Here, Genesis 17. Telling you, man, y'all can fall behind a white woman all you want. White woman has her man. Y'all don't. Oh, her man kills your man. And a lot of you sisters up in here, a lot of you are more of a man than the one you want. Some of y'all are more of a husband than you're actually looking for. You can be your own husband, some of y'all up in here. When you complain about men, some of y'all raised the very same failures that you freaking complain about. Genesis 17, verse 17. That's why you got, listen, what we're doing here is offering y'all sisters an alternative that y'all never ever been offered before. That's the word of God. The Christian church is not offering that. The Christianity church is offering you a pedestal. Oh, worship the woman, bishopess, deaconess. That's the snake. That's the serpent in the garden. That's what that is. That don't work for y'all. You found the Christianity church cults does not work for y'all. Doesn't work. Hasn't worked for hundreds of years. Try something else. I'm giving you the alternative. Genesis 17, verse 17.
Genesis 17:17. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear?
He laughed at himself. Now get 18 verse 1. 18 verse 1.
18 verse 1. And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground.
Right, go ahead.
And said, my Lord.
My Lord. Abraham said to God, my Lord. Go ahead.
If now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant.
He said, I'm your servant to the Lord. Now jump to verse 9.
Verse 9
to 12.
And they said unto him, where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him.
Go ahead.
Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age.
Keep that in mind. Go ahead.
And it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women.
Come on.
Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also?
Now, so she laughed also, right? Now go to 1 Corinthians 11, verse 1. Abraham said, my servant, my Lord. And she said to Abraham, my Lord. 1 Corinthians 11, verse 1 to 3.
1 Corinthians 11, verse 1.
This is where Paul got it from. Go ahead.
Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonors his head. But every woman that prays...
No, verse 3. You start the verse 3?
Oh, verse 3, sorry.
Oh, I want 3. You're going too far. So the order is God, Christ, man, and woman. And Abraham expressed that. That's expressed in Genesis chapter 17 and 18. Get Genesis 18, verse 12. Am I coming in clear now, or are those the mic issues? Are we good now? I'm sorry. I'm late. I'm sorry about that. Genesis 18, verse 12.
Genesis 18, verse
I'm
12.
going to read the verse 15.
Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also?
Watch this, 13.
And the Lord said unto Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I have a surety bear a child, which am old?
Stop. Get to imagine what's happening. They're in a tent at the door of Abraham's tent. Sarah's tent is behind Abraham's tent. So they're talking to Abraham about how his wife's going to bring forth a child in old age. She laughs in her own self, in her own mind, saying, I'm going to have a kid at 90 years old. She's overhearing the conversation. Remember, Abraham did the same thing. He laughed the same way, all right? Read on.
Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed, I will return unto thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son.
He says, is anything too hard for the Lord? Is anything impossible to the Lord? Surely she will bring forth a child. Watch verse 15. Watch this.
Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not.
She said, I didn't laugh. Go ahead, watch this.
For she was afraid.
Because she was scared. Go ahead.
And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh.
No, you did laugh. So what did the angel do? He checked up her laughing. But Abraham laughed at himself. But it wasn't her place to do that. It wasn't her place to do that. Let me give you a prime example. I'm not going to go through it. I'm just going to lack of time. Numbers 12. Miriam was speaking against Moses' ex-wife, Moses' wife, who was Ethiopian. Was she wrong? No. It wasn't her place to do so. That's why he didn't check Aaron, because he wasn't wrong. But it was not her place to do that. See, the so-called white woman pretends in front of the black woman that she doesn't know her place. Well, she does. That's why she voted for Trump. She didn't put Hillary in office. They put Trump in office. Because the white woman plays, she fronts for y'all. Y'all listen to her. But her husband, she's loyal to. She's loyal to her men. If it came time where they decide to bring slavery back again, best believe she's not siding with y'all. She's not going to side with you, black woman. She'll sit there and she'll reap the benefits. She will reap the benefits of your black behind back in chains again. Don't think she's on your side. Becky's on your side. Karen's on your side. Amber's on your side. Tiffany's on your side. Or Vashti is on your side. Or Ming Lee is on your side, because they're not on your side. If the opportunity presents itself to enslave us again, they'd all do it and they'd all be subject to their men all over again. America is a show. It's like an act that's put on to keep Israel enslaved longer, to prolong the inevitable. And we fall for it. We fall for it each time. We fall for it. You don't hear 82% of white women saying they're not marriage material. Every nation wants to marry white women. Every nation wants to marry them. Not y'all. Not our sisters. Nope. Unless for bragging rights, maybe. When some white guy beat the sister up real bad recently. Bow to me. No. Bow. That wench spirit. I'm telling you. Now, some black women will say, well, black men are abusive too. We understand that. But she shouldn't be with him regardless. It's wrong. She's wrong in both ways. She's wrong for being with that dude to begin with, and he's wrong, and she's wrong, and he's wrong for beating her. The Lord tells you, stick to your own. Maybe she repent and keep the commandments of God. She'll get a man that won't beat her. And keep offering y'all alternatives, and y'all keep getting mad and disliking videos, dislike, because you dislike yourself. Because you hate you, so you hate the videos. That's okay. When the Lord show up here, he'll give you a dislike. Where we at?
Oh, you just finished verse 15.
Go to read down to verse 19.
Verse 16. And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him.
Israel will be scattered among those nations. Go ahead. Verse 8:19.
For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him.
So Abraham was an alpha male. He was not a beta. Abraham was an alpha male. That's what he was. He controlled, he ran his house in order and authority. His wife was subject to him. Their servants were subject to him and them and her. Everyone was subject to him. That was the order of things. Just as he was subject to the Lord when he fed them and washed their feet, likewise, sisters, the same go for y'all when it comes to the men. Same thing happened with us. Should be with us. Go ahead.
And they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment.
Notice it says they. They means his wife, his servants, his children. They shall keep the way of the Lord, because Abraham will command his house to do so. Go ahead.
That the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him.
Right, bringing him a child, an heir, which was our forefather, whose inheritance we have inherited now. Go to Genesis 20, verse 1.
Genesis 20, verse 1. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister. And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man. For the woman thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. But Abimelech had not come near her. And he said, Lord, wilt thou slay me also a righteous nation?
Go ahead.
Said he not unto me, She is my sister. And she, even she herself said, He is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this.
Right, so he's telling the Lord, listen, I didn't know that was his wife. He didn't say anything. She agreed, and he agreed that she wasn't his wife. Go ahead.
And God said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thine heart. For I also withheld thee from sinning against me.
I kept you from laying with her. That's why. I kept you from touching her. Go ahead.
Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her.
Go ahead.
Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet.
What's Abraham?
A prophet.
Abraham was a prophet. Go ahead.
And he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live.
And Abraham shall pray for you, and you shall live. Go ahead.
And if thou restore her not, know that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine.
You don't give her back, I'm going to kill you and everybody in your family. Kill all of you. Don't touch his wife. Go ahead.
Therefore Abimelech rose early in the morning, and called all his servants, and told all these things in their ears. And the men were sore afraid.
Terrified. Now jump to verse 17.
17. So Abraham prayed unto God, and God healed Abimelech.
Stop. And God healed Abimelech. Why? Remember the Lord told him to have Abraham pray for you during this time, right? Go ahead.
And his wife.
And he healed Abimelech's wife. Also, watch this.
And his maidservant.
And the Lord healed his maidservants when Abraham prayed for them. Go ahead.
And they bare children.
And they what?
They bare children.
And they were able to bear children. Why? Next verse.
For the Lord has fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech, because of Sarah, Abraham's wife.
See what the Lord did? He made all women in that area barren. Abraham had to pray for the Lord to open their wombs back up. So they wonder why I can't get pregnant. What's going on? What's happening? Maidservants, his wife, those in his house, because Sarah was there. He had Sarah in his possession. So the Lord said, no one's getting pregnant up in here until he goes back to his wife. So she go back to her husband. Abraham had to pray to open their wombs back up. That's the power Abraham had. That's the power his wife had. Just being in that area, she had everybody barren. The Lord wasn't the Lord. I'm telling you, man, that's what the Bible calls Abraham, a friend of God. Go to 21, verse 1.
Genesis 21, verse 1. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said.
Get a little faster, come on.
And the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which God had spoken to him.
All right, go ahead.
And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac, being 8 days old, as God had commanded him.
Isaac, because both of them laughed at the thought of having kids. So Isaac means to laugh. Both of them laughed within themselves of having a child, so his name was Isaac. Go ahead.
And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born unto him.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. And she said, Who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age. And the child grew and was weaned. And Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned.
Right, around 3 years old. Go ahead.
And Sarah saw that son of Hagar the Egyptian.
So Sarah saw the son, Ishmael, Hagar's son. Go ahead.
Which she had born unto Abraham mocking.
He was making fun of Isaac. Go ahead.
Wherefore she said unto Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son.
She said, Abraham, listen, get rid of them both. Get rid of her and that child. Go ahead.
For the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac.
So, well, my son's better. He ain't going to be an heir of my son. Get him out of here. And his mama. Go ahead.
And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son.
Abraham was bothered by it. This is an argument of a couple. He had an issue with that. That's Ishmael's his son too. Go ahead.
And God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in the sight because of this lad, and because of the woman, bondwoman, and all that Sarah hath said unto thee. Hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
She's right. You can't argue with your wife at this point. She's right. I'm saying she's right. Listen to her, get rid of that child. So Abraham had nothing to say at that point. Nothing to say. Go ahead.
And also of the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is thy seed. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took bread and a bottle of water, and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder, and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba.
There you go. He got rid of her. All praise the Lord. Now, where we at? What was that again? That was verse 14, right?
Yes, sir.
Give me 22:15. 22:15.
Genesis 22:15. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of the heaven the second time, and said, by myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thy only son.
The Lord told Abraham to sacrifice his son, and he was going to do it. He showed himself loyal. He showed loyalty. Go ahead.
That in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And
verse 18. 18?
Verse 18. And in thy seed shall all...
No, I'm sorry. Read 17 again. Read 17 again.
Verse 17. That in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies.
And thy seed shall possess the gate of his... We read that earlier. And thy seed shall possess the gate, means the lands or homes of their enemies. Go ahead.
And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice.
Right. Going into Israel once again, being blessed. Because they'll be scattered among those nations. Get Genesis 23. 1-6.
Genesis 23, verse 1. And Sarah was 107 and 20 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kirjathjearim. The same is Hezron in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her.
Go ahead.
And Abraham stood up before his dead, and spake unto the sons of Heth, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight.
His wife, go ahead.
And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him, Hear us, my lord, thou art a mighty prince among us.
Abraham was called a what?
A mighty prince among us.
Abraham was called the mighty prince among them. Go ahead.
In the choice of our sepulchres, bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold from thee his sepulchre, but thou mayest bury thy dead.
Go ahead. No, go 24 verse 1.
24 verse 1. And Abraham was old and well stricken in age.
Well, what?
Well stricken in age.
Go ahead.
And the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house, that ruled over all that he had, Put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and I will make thee swear by the Lord, the God of heaven, and the God of the earth, that thou shalt take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. But thou shalt go unto my country and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac.
You're going to get a wife for my son of his own people. Do not give him a wife of other nations, especially the ones that live in this land, the children of Heth. Do not give my son any of their daughters. I don't want my son for them. I want my son to have his own kind. Go to my family and get a wife of my family for him. That was the law back then. Marry your own people. Now go to where we at? Jump to 15:16.
Verse 15. And it came to pass, before he had done speaking, that behold, Rebekah came out, who was born to Bethuel, son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, with her pitcher upon her shoulder.
So Rebekah came out, okay? Abraham's brother's daughter. Go ahead.
And the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin, neither had man known her.
Stop. The damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin, comma, neither had any man known her. Then you know what? Virgin means young woman, And on top of being a young woman, she was a virgin. So we have two different contexts here. Virgin as in young marriageable woman, marriageable age, and also a virgin as in her chastity. It's giving you the differentiation between the two. You understand? In this very verse. Go ahead.
And she went down to the well and filled her pitcher and came up.
Yeah, read on.
And the servant ran to meet her and said, Let me, I pray thee, drink a little water of thy pitcher. And she said, Drink, my lord. And she hasted and let down her pitcher upon her hand and gave him drink.
Here she called the man, Abraham's servant. Yes, my lord. The term of endearment. That's the woman called the man at the time, Lord. Go ahead.
And when she had done giving him drink, she said, I will draw water for thy camels also until they have done drinking.
Go ahead.
And she hasted and emptied her pitcher into the throw, and ran again unto the well to draw water.
Come on.
And
verse
drew
22. Go ahead.
Verse 22.
No, read up to verse 22. Go ahead.
And drew for all his camels. And the man wondering at her held his peace, to wit whether the Lord had made his journey prosper or not.
Right, go ahead.
22. And it came to pass, as the camels had done drinking, that the man took a golden earring of half of shekel weight, and 2 bracelets of her hand of 10 shekels weight of gold.
Right, what that is was a dowry from Abraham to give her to his son. Jump to verse 49.
49.
I'm going to read to 60. I'm going to read the verse 50. Go ahead.
And now, if ye will deal kindly and truly with my master, tell me. And if not, tell me, that I may turn to the right hand or to the left.
Because he finally got there and explained to Abraham's brother, I'm here to take your daughter as my, for my master, for Abraham's son's wife, Isaac's wife. Go ahead.
Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, The thing proceeded from the Lord.
Stop. So Laban and Bethuel answered and said, the what?
The thing proceeded from the Lord.
Go ahead.
We cannot speak unto thee bad or good.
So one of the things you must know is that during this time, people are more spiritually inclined to know when the Lord was involved in this. So you understand, you got a man coming out of nowhere, meeting up with their daughter, explains to them who sent them and why, and they said, well, it's the Lord. We understand that. So we were more spiritually inclined back then when it came to spousal relations, or when it came to setting up a man and wife, a brother and sister as man and wife during this time. All right? A lot more. Keep that in mind. I mentioned spiritually inclined. Read on.
51. Behold, Rebekah is before thee. Take her and go, and let her be thy master's son's wife. And the Lord hath spoken.
As the Lord
has spoken.
As the Lord said. As we believe what you're saying. The Lord said it. So be it. Go ahead.
And it came to pass that when Abraham's servant heard their words, he worshipped the Lord, bowing himself to the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And the servant brought forth jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment, and gave them to Rebekah.
Mm-hmm.
He gave also to her brother and to her mother precious things.
Right, he paid them off. That's a dowry. Go ahead.
And they did.
Abraham was very, very, very wealthy. Abraham was not rich, wealthy. He had land. Land is wealth. Rich is garbage. Abraham was wealthy. Land he can pass on from generation to generation. That's wealth. That's not riches. Wealth. Go ahead.
And they did eat and drink, he and the men that were with him, and tarried all night. And they rose up in the morning, and he said, Send me away unto my master.
Time for me to go. Go ahead.
And her brother and her mother said, Let the damsel abide with us a few days, at least the 10. After that she shall go.
We're going to prepare her. Before let her go with you, we're going to prepare her, take care of her, so she's ready for him. Give us 10 days to do what we got to do with her first, until she's ready, and then she can go with you. Y'all, read between the lines what I'm saying. Wash her, take care of her, purify, things of that nature to make sure she's ready to go and be that man's wife. All right, go ahead.
And he said unto them, Hinder me not, seeing the Lord has prospered my way. Send me away, that I may go to my master. And they said, We will call the damsel and inquire at her mouth.
So customarily, they would do that, but at this point, he said, I got to go. Don't have time for that. Just bring her along. But during this time, it was customary that they had a time to prepare the daughter and set up and things of that nature. At this time, he said, I don't have time. Go ahead.
And they called Rebekah.
But I'm just showing you that was done. Go ahead.
And said unto her, Wilt thou go with this man? And she said, I will go.
Go ahead. She didn't say, why? Where am I going? What for? That's y'all today. This time it's like, okay, it's time for you to go. I will go with him. I don't know who they are now.
Deacon, what's so heavy in that? She never even saw how Isaac looked like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she ain't care about, I wonder if he ugly. I wonder if he's my type. No, she already knows he's of Lord. She said, I'm going to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that show you the state of the minor sister back then.
They were spiritually inclined back then.
Yep.
And her parents. Go ahead.
And they sent away Rebekah, their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's
And
servant,
her what?
And her nurse.
She had someone to take. She had a nurse. She had a servant too. And her servant, her nurse. Whatever she wants, she nurse her. What do you need? Our foremothers had all of that. We're going to get it again too. Go ahead.
And Abraham's servant and his men. And they blessed Rebekah and said unto her, Thou art our sister. Be thou the mother of thousands of millions.
Damn.
And let thy seed possess the gate of those which hate them.
You shall be the mother of thousands of millions. And let thy seed possess the gate of those which hate them, which means everybody hates us. We're going to possess everybody. That's what Rebekah's parents told her as a blessing. Let your children's children possess the gate of those that hate them and have thousands of millions. Because back then, bringing forth lots of kids was a blessing. Now, Negroes say things like, oh, you got 5? Bless your heart. God bless you. That's their way of saying, ill. 5? Wouldn't be me. Yeah, nigga, it wouldn't be you. I don't know how you do it. All them sly, slick comments. It wouldn't be me. I couldn't do it. Are you sure? Yeah, you sure you want more? How many you had? 5? 5. Yeah, 5. Israel's evil, man. I'm telling you. But the white women have kids. John and Kate plus 8. Oh, that's so adorable. They had 8 babies. Octomom. Oh, God bless. Let me see here. Oh, look at her big, huge head and blue eyes. Oh, God bless you, white Jesus. That's y'all today. Where we at?
Verse 61.
That's it. Go to Genesis 20. Go to let's get real quick. Proverbs 20, verse 24. To show. No, read verse 60. Read verse. Was that it? I don't want it. That's all right. Yeah. Go to Proverbs 20, verse 24. So as we know, Abraham sent his servant to go and get his servant's son a wife. Right. So he told his servant things that would take place to let him know that the woman he run into would in fact be the one that was predestined or predetermined to be Isaac's wife. So that was all spiritual intervention. That was all spiritual. That was all, what's the term? Providence. Divine intervention. That's what it was. Read that. Proverbs 20, verse 24.
Proverbs 20, verse 24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way?
Right. Man's goings of the Lord. Abraham's servant's goings are of the Lord. All right. Now, give me Luke. You got to skim through this fast. Luke 1, verse 11. I told y'all, keep in mind, conceived, well stricken in age, spiritual inclination. They're spiritually inclined. Keep this in mind. I made that. Luke went and unto her, and she conceived. I told y'all, remember that earlier. Some of y'all caught on to that. Some of y'all just in your own world. Hopefully not. Luke 1, verse 11.
Luke 1, verse 11. And there appeared unto him an angel of the Lord, standing on the right side of the altar of incense.
The him is Zacharias, John the Baptist's father. He was a Levite. He was doing his office in the course of Levi, burned the incense, I believe. Angel appeared to him in the temple and said this to him. Watch.
And when Zacharias saw him, he was troubled, and fear fell upon him.
Go a little faster. Come on.
But the angel said unto him, Fear not, Zacharias, for thy prayer is heard, and thy wife Elizabeth shall bear thee a son.
Now, his prayer, because he was praying, he wanted a child. They prayed, they wanted a child. They wanted a child, these two. Go ahead, his wife. Go ahead.
And thou shalt call his name John.
And you shall call his name. So the angel already named this child. You're going to name him John. That's his name. God already named John his name. He's not even his parents. He said, you're going to call him John. Go ahead.
And thou shalt have joy and gladness, and many shall rejoice at his birth.
Many shall rejoice at his birth. Go ahead.
For he shall be great in the sight of the Lord, and shall drink neither wine nor strong drink.
Be a Nazarite. Go ahead.
And he shall be filled with the Holy Ghost, even from his mother's womb.
The Spirit of God will be upon him even in his mother's womb. In his mother's womb, he'll be filled with the Holy Spirit. Watch this.
And many of the children of Israel shall he turn to the Lord their God.
Many of who?
Many of the children of Israel shall he turn to the Lord their God.
So now we know who he was baptizing. Many of the children of Israel shall he turn to the Lord their God. Go ahead.
And he shall go before him in the spirit and power of Elias.
Why did he do that? Why did he move in that spirit? Because he was him. He was Elijah. But another topic. Go ahead.
To turn to the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord. And Zechariah said unto the angel, whereby shall I know this? For I am an old man, and my and my wife well stricken in years.
Well stricken. So he was up there. My wife and I are old and well stricken in age, like Abraham and Sarah were well stricken and old. Go ahead.
And the angel answering said unto him, I am Gabriel, that stand in the presence of God, and am sent to speak unto thee, and to show thee these glad tidings.
So the angel, which is really done, gave him his name. I am Gabriel. I stand before God all the time. I'm telling you what's going to happen. Watch this.
And
So
behold,
remember, he's questioning him. He's saying, how am we going to have kids? We're old. So Gabriel said, listen, I'm Gabriel. And I'm telling you what the Lord said. Watch this.
and behold, thou shalt be dumb.
So for you saying that stupidness out your mouth, you can't speak no more. You talking stupid. Now you're going to be dumb now. Go ahead.
And not able to speak.
And can't speak no more because you've spoken enough. Go ahead.
Until the day that these things shall be performed.
So what?
These things shall be performed.
So these things be performed. Now, what shall be performed? He shall go unto his wife, and she shall conceive a child in her old age. Y'all agree? You understand? That's what's going to be performed. That's the performance you're reading about, right? Everyone clear on that? Watch. Read on.
Because thou believest not my word.
Because you ain't listening. Because you don't believe my words. Just like Sarah ran her mouth. I didn't say that. Yes, she did. Same thing. Go ahead.
Which shall be fulfilled in their season.
Which shall be fulfilled in the time of their season as it was when Isaac was born. Go ahead, or conceived. Go ahead.
And the people waited for Zacharias and marveled that he tarried so long in the temple. And when he came out, he could not speak unto them. And they perceived that he had seen a vision in the temple, for he beckoned unto them.
He's talking, he's like, nothing's coming out. They can't hear nothing he's saying. Go ahead.
And remained speechless.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass that as soon as the days of his ministration were accomplished, he departed to his own house.
Go ahead.
And after those days, his wife Elizabeth conceived.
Whoa. 24 again?
And after those days, his wife Elizabeth conceived.
Because he departed to his own house. And after those days when he was home, his wife what?
Conceived. His wife Elizabeth conceived and hid herself 5 months, saying.
And stayed to herself for 5. So she's 5 months pregnant now. He went in unto his wife in their old stricken age, and she hid herself for 5 months pregnant. Go ahead.
Thus hath the Lord dealt with me in the days wherein he looked upon me to take away my reproach among men.
So what? Take away her what?
My reproach among men.
Because she was shamed that she could not bring forth. Back then it was a shame and a disgrace women to be barren, to not be able to bring forth children. Some of y'all love that thing today. Some of y'all pride yourselves in not having no kids and grow up with all kinds of psychological problems. Or grow older with psychological problems. Loneliness, depression, taking pills. Because you all by yourself. You're too old now to have kids. Now you're just sitting around home playing with a cat. Sad. But back then, our foremothers prided themselves in being able to bring forth children. That they may what? Possess the gate of their enemies in time.
Hey, what they do, some sisters, what they do, they tie their tubes.
Yo, burn them. Tie and burn them too.
Tie it and burn it. And not to say they did it for a health reason and so forth, but they did it because they just don't want to have kids and just want to have sex and no kids. You understand?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
And sometimes some of you sisters have been involved where you got your joints tied up. And the Lord's like, oh, that's cute. She tied them. And the sperm will go whoop, right in that little loop, little knot, and get right the egg anyway. Right through the knot. Oh, she thinks she's slick. I got it. I've even heard stories of sisters who got pregnant when they were burned. Baby died, but it still got there. So the Lord could do whatever he want to do. Ain't no such thing as birth control. God controls birth. Birth control. Women be taking pills left and right. You still get pregnant. I don't know why this happened. I'm on the pill. Yeah, God said, I got other plans. Where we at?
Verse 26.
Read on.
And in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from God unto the city of Galilee,
So within the 6th month, remember she was 5 months. So within the 6th month, Gabriel shows up. Go ahead.
named Nazareth.
No, whoa, go back. Is it named that? Go back again.
And in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from God unto the city of Galilee, named Nazareth.
Right. So he visits. So by the time 5 months later, Elizabeth is 5 months pregnant. In the 6th month, he goes and visits Galilee. Go ahead.
To a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph.
To a virgin, what?
To a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph.
To a virgin that was espoused to a man named Joseph. So she was already promised or engaged to a man named Joseph. Just like Rebekah was already engaged or espoused to Isaac. Because Abraham already sent his servant to come get her. So within a time frame that the servant was heading there, she was already espoused to Isaac. And when he got there, what did he do? He gave her the jewelry, he gave her the dowry. That's the dowry. She was already his. On his way there, she was already Isaac's wife. Y'all understand? Read on.
Of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary.
Go ahead.
And the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou that art highly favored. The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women.
Go ahead.
And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast in her mind what manner of salutation this should be.
So what's she talking about? She's confused. Mother of women, what's she talking about? She's confused. Go ahead.
And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God.
Go ahead.
And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb.
Stop. Thou shalt conceive in thy womb. Jump to verse 24, please.
24. And after those days, his wife Elizabeth conceived.
Jump to verse 31 now.
And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and shalt call his name Jesus.
Why are you confused? Where's the confusion? Elizabeth conceived, and Mary gonna conceive. But one's miraculous and the other one isn't. Don't make sense to me. But let's read on. Keep going.
He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest.
Now, understand, for those of you novice people in Christianity, Luke goes before Matthew. I know some of you people in Christianity are unaware of this. Luke is before Matthew. Luke 1 and Matthew 1 linked together. Luke 2, Matthew 2 tied together. Luke 3, Matthew 3 tied together. Luke 4, Matthew 4 tied together, and Matthew 5 is the Beatitudes. That's when it breaks. But those scriptures are in a complete alignment. But Luke takes place before Matthew. And between the books of, I'm not sure which order it is, between the books of Daniel and Ezekiel, one go before the other. I believe which one is it? Daniel comes first, then Ezekiel. Well, Ezekiel's before Daniel, I believe.
Right.
Same thing, same order.
Yo, you gotta explain it in layman terms. Luke is when the angel came to Mary.
Right.
Matthew is when she was already pregnant.
Yes.
Layman terms, okay?
Right. Luke, he's an infant. Matthew, he's a toddler. Luke, he's an infant. Matthew, toddler. You understand? Before and after. Read on. So remember, it says that she was espoused to Joseph at this time. Did Rebekah know she was espoused to Isaac? No. Was she espoused to Isaac? Yes. Just like Mary was espoused to Joseph. Did Rebekah know? No. Did Mary know? No. Go ahead.
And the Lord God shall give unto him the throne of his father David, and he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom shall there be no end.
He shall reign over the house of Jacob forever. That's Christ. Go ahead. 34. We're going to stop it. Yeah, keep going.
Then said Mary unto the angel, How shall this be, seeing I know not a man?
How shall this be? I don't know not a man, because why? She did not know she was what? Espoused to Joseph. So who's over that? The parents. She did not know she was espoused to anyone. She said, how am I going to be pregnant? I don't know no man. She didn't know. This is before her encounter with Joseph. Before. Go ahead. The angel's speaking to her later on as if it happened already. Go ahead.
And the angel answered and said unto her, The Holy Ghost shall come upon thee, and the power of the highest shall overshadow thee. Therefore also that holy thing which shall be born of thee shall be called the Son of God.
The highest shall overshadow thee. The power of the highest shall overshadow thee. What's that going into? We read it earlier. The power of the highest shall overshadow thee. You read it earlier. You read an instance of this 2 times. Let's see who gets it. The Spirit overshadowing you. Let's see who has an answer. Anyone have a clue? Or do I got to spoil it for y'all? Who want to give it a try? Yeah, you can give it a try. Go on. Give me an example of the Spirit overshadowing you.
Shalom, Deek.
Shalom.
So that was the example was when with Abraham's servant, that's when the Spirit overpowered him, just like we read in Proverbs 20:24.
Thank you. All praise to the Lord. That's exactly what it means. When the time comes, you'll know what I'm talking about. That's what he's saying to her. You're going to run into Joseph during this time and conceive a child. That's what it's talking about. Read on.
36. And behold, thy cousin Elizabeth, she hath also conceived a
Stop. She what?
She hath also conceived
Also conceived. Go ahead.
a son in her old age. And this is the 6th month with her.
Right. Remember, we read earlier, she was 5 months. The 6th month he visited Mary here in Nazareth. Go ahead.
Who was called barren.
Who was called barren because she was mocked for not being able to bring forth children. That was her reproach. Read on.
For with God nothing shall be impossible.
They run with that. See? Immaculate conception, nothing impossible. But what's it referring to? Go back to verse 36 again.
And behold, thy cousin Elizabeth, she hath also conceived a son in her old age. And this is the 6th month with her, who was called barren.
Why? Verse 37.
For with God.
For means because. She got pregnant at an old age because what?
For with God nothing shall be impossible.
That's the point. Nothing shall be impossible. Go ahead.
And Mary said,
regarding an old woman bringing forth children like Sarah and Abraham. Go ahead.
behold, the handmaid of the Lord, be it unto me according to thy word. And the angel departed from her. And Mary arose in those days and went into the hill country with haste into a city of Judah.
And she went to go visit her cousin Elizabeth. And within that time frame, who lived there? Joseph lived there. And that's another topic, but that's the point. Another topic. Go ahead.
And entered into the house of Zacharias and saluted Elizabeth.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass that when Elizabeth heard the salutation of Mary, the babe leaped in her womb.
John leaped in the womb when Mary walked in because the Spirit of God was already on him in the womb. So he knew who she was already in the womb. Go ahead.
And Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Ghost.
And Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Ghost. Watch this.
And she spake out with a loud voice and said, Blessed art thou among women.
That's what Gabriel said to her. So the Spirit of God moved on Elizabeth, and Elizabeth said the exact same thing that Gabriel said. Go ahead.
And blessed is the fruit of thy womb.
Go ahead.
And whence is this to me, that the mother of my Lord shall come to me?
Go ahead.
For lo, as soon as the voice of thy salutation sounded in my ears, the babe leaped in my womb for joy.
Yeah, watch 45.
And blessed is she that believed.
Blessed is she that believed, meaning Mary. Watch this.
For there shall be a performance of those things which were told of her from the Lord.
What's the performance? What's the performance? Huh? Thank you. That's the performance. You're going to run to Joseph. Now that you're here, where Joseph is at, you're going to run to him, you're going to get pregnant.
Hey,
That's the performance. Is that clear?
So the Holy Ghost didn't overshadow her?
Right, and enter into her belly, right?
So the angel didn't put the baby in there?
Nope.
So
let's go to Genesis 24 and 61. That's another topic, but
Genesis 24:61. And Rebekah arose, and her damsels, and they rode upon the camels, and followed the man. And the servant took Rebekah, and went his way.
I'm sorry. Go back to Luke real quick. Just to show how long she was there. Luke. Go back to that real quick. So people don't say, oh, when? Luke, 45, we start that. 56, read that.
Luke 1:56. And Mary abode with her about 3 months, and returned to her own house.
Right, so she abode Elizabeth within that time frame in Judea, 3 months. Within that time frame, that's that performance took place that Gabriel alluded to. Within that 3 months. Because remember, 3 months later, Elizabeth had what? She had John because she was already 6 when Mary visited her. 3 months later, they have John. You understand? All right, go back to
Isaiah 24:61.
Not Isaiah. Genesis
I
24.
mean, I'm sorry,
60
Genesis 24:61.
Yes, Genesis 24:61.
And Rebekah arose and her damsels, and they rode upon the camels, and followed the man. And the servant took Rebekah, and went his way. And Isaac came from the way of the well Lahorah, for he dwelt in the south country. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide. And he lifted up his eyes, and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lifted off the camel, lighted off the camel. For she had said unto the servant, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us?
She said, who's that? She saw Isaac. Go ahead.
And the servant had said, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself.
Took a veil and what?
And covered herself.
Took the veil and she covered her head. Covered herself. Go ahead.
And the servant told Isaac all things that have been done.
So Isaac, who she is and where he just came back from. Go ahead.
And Isaac brought her into his mother's Sarah's tent.
His mother Sarah, because Sarah died. So he took the tent of his mother and brought her into that tent. Go ahead.
And took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death.
So Isaac knew. He saw, that's my wife there. There was no question between them. They knew it was of the Lord. They went and got married in that tent. That tent goes into the whole tradition, the marriage tradition and so forth, the custom. Now, 29 verse 9. Skip this.
Genesis 29, verse 9.
Yeah.
And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near, and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban's, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother,
right,
and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son.
Right, Laban is Rebekah's brother. Go ahead.
That he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be?
Come on.
And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel.
There's the older sister. Go ahead.
Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored.
Leah was pretty, but Rachel was gorgeous. That's what he's saying. Go ahead.
And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy younger daughter. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee, than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and he seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had for her.
He waited 7 years for her. He loved her that much. Go ahead.
And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place, and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening, that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him. And he went unto her.
Right, in the tent, it's the marriage. This is them coming together in marriage. The coming together that you read about in Matthew 1:18. That's the coming together that was bypassed by Joseph during that time. Read on.
And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for a handmaid.
See, our mothers always had handmaids and nurses. We always had that. Go ahead.
And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, what is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore thou beguiled me? And Laban said, it must not be done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn.
Damn, go ahead.
Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years.
So Laban ain't nothing, man. Laban said, you got to work 7 more years for Rachel. It's not customary for us to give the younger before the firstborn. You have to have the firstborn first. Then you got to work 7 more years for when you want. So he was exploiting Jacob. He's exploiting him. That's what he was doing. Go ahead.
And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week. And he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her maid.
He gave her a handmaid. Go ahead.
And he went in also unto Rachel, And he loved also Rachel more than Leah,
He loved Rachel more than Leah. Go ahead.
and served with him yet 7 other years.
For her. Go ahead.
And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated,
And the Lord saw that Jacob did not really like Leah because he was tight. He was mad. Like, I don't want you anyway, man. You just smile. So the Lord saw that. Go ahead.
he opened her womb. But Rachel was barren.
So the Lord closed up Rachel's womb and opened up Leah's womb so he can have more affection towards the one that's fertile than the one that's not. Go ahead.
And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me.
Finally, he's going to love me now. I gave his firstborn. So because she was fighting for his love, because he did not want her. He wanted Rachel. So now the Lord said, I'm going to have mercy on Leah now and make sure she has a child first. Go ahead.
And she conceived again and bare a son.
She got pregnant again. Go ahead.
And said, because the Lord had heard I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon.
She named him. She named him Reuben, firstborn. She said, I'm going to name him Simeon. Go ahead. So you got Reuben and Simeon, same mother. Go ahead.
And she conceived again and
She
bare a
conceived
son.
another one. Go ahead.
And said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me,
Now he'll really love me. This is my third one with him. Go ahead.
because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi.
Right, joined unto the Lord. Joined. Go ahead. Joined. Go ahead.
And she conceived again and bare a son. And she said, now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah and left barren.
And she stopped bearing. So Leah had Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. She had those 4 so far. Right? So now, read on.
30 verse 1. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister.
So Rachel saw that she can have no kids. She started to hate Leah. Despise her. Go ahead.
And said unto Jacob, give me children, or else I die.
So she's mad. So give me kids. So she's blaming Jacob for her not being able to have kids. Go ahead. Watch this.
And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel.
His what?
His anger was kindled against Rachel.
She pissed him off. Watch.
And he said, am I in God's stead, who hath withheld the fruit of thy womb?
She said, am I in God's stead? Who have withheld thee from the fruit of the womb? Who's the reason you can't get pregnant? Is it my fault? God has it. You can't get pregnant. That's harsh. That ain't my fault. That's your fault. That's God who made you barren. So they going at it. Go ahead.
And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her.
Use her as a surrogate for me. Same thing that Sarah did with Hagar. Same thing again. Go ahead.
And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife. And Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived, and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan.
So Bilhah had Dan. Go ahead.
And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, with great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister.
With great what?
With great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister.
She was fighting with her sister. They were go arguing back and forth. Go ahead. They weren't getting along. Go ahead.
And I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali.
Go ahead.
When Leah saw that she had left barren, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife.
So Leah stopped having babies. She said, okay, you're going to take care of the surrogate, have more kids for me. Go ahead. Because she saw Rachel doing it. So she went and did the same thing. You take my handmaid and label her as a surrogate. Go ahead.
And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, a troop cometh. And she called his name Gad.
So you have 4 different mothers. We are the product of 4 different mothers. 2 are Hebrews, 2 are not. So that gives you understanding as to why the features of us vary so much. Before the mixing, before Israel scattered, you had variations of features based upon what? The father and his 4 different women. Go ahead.
And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher.
Yeah, Asher, go ahead.
And Reuben went in the days of the wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field.
So stop. Reuben, Leah's firstborn, went into the field and got mandrakes. These are like herbs for, You get it.
Yeah.
That pya. Go ahead. Potency. Go ahead.
And brought them unto his mother Leah.
And brought them to Mother Leah. Go ahead. That's what they were for. Go ahead.
Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrake.
Rachel said, Leah, could you give me your son's mandrakes he got from the field? Go ahead.
And she said unto her, it is a small matter that thou hast taken my husband.
Stop. Is it a small matter you took my man? Remember, they're both his wives, but they're arguing over this brother. This is women who were born and raised in the customs where multiple wives was tradition. So imagine how they will be today. Imagine this today. She'd probably be stabbing her neck with a fork. Y'all trying to do this now? But these sisters now? Oh, good luck. Read on, read again.
And she said unto her, is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldest thou take away my son mandrakes also?
You're going to take my husband and you're going to take my son's mandrakes too? These are sisters, by the way. Go ahead.
And Rachel said, therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes.
So Rachel said, listen, you can have Jacob tonight. Just give me the mandrakes. And you can have him tonight. But they're negotiating penis. That's what's happening. I'm just being real with you. They're negotiating. Okay, you have him tonight. Give me the mandrakes. Go ahead.
And Jacob came out of the field in the evening. And Leah
Jacob has no clue what's going on. This is women talking amongst themselves about him. Go ahead.
And Leah went out to meet him and said, thou must come in unto me.
Listen, I want you now. I want it tonight. I think that's not in the Bible. That's in the Bible. That's in the Bible. She said, I want it tonight. Go ahead.
For surely I've hired thee with my son's mandrakes.
Because I have hired you. I have paid for you to give me some tonight. Go ahead.
And he lay with her that night.
And he did what he was told to do. We ain't arguing that. What? Hired? Shit, you did it for free. Let's go. We don't say no. If you do, check your preference. Verse 17.
And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived, and bare Jacob the fifth son.
So he got her pregnant. She got a fifth son. Go ahead.
And Leah said, God hath given me my hire.
Remember, because she paid for that night with him. Go ahead, for the mandrakes. Go ahead.
Because I have given my son, my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar.
The hire. Go ahead.
And Leah conceived again, and bare Jacob the sixth son.
Damn. Go ahead.
And Leah said, God hath endowed me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun.
My dwelling. Go ahead.
And afterwards she bare a daughter, and called her name Dinah.
Dinah. So she had a daughter. That's to be her foremother. Go ahead.
And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her, and opened her womb.
So the Lord said, okay, Rachel's mad. He opened her womb again. Go ahead.
And she conceived, and bare a son, and said, God hath taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and said, the Lord shall add to me another son.
Right, I'm going to have another son after this. I'm going to call him Joseph. So I'm going to have another son. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away, that I may go unto mine own place and to my country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go. For thou knowest my service which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if thou have found favor in thine eyes, tarry. For I have learned much experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake.
I don't want you to leave, man. I've learned that as long as you've been living here, I've been eating good. I'm getting blessed. Why do you want to leave? I'm doing so well because you're here. Laban was the worst, man. Our uncle was terrible. All right, that's all I want. So now, let's get, what was that, 29? That was 30. Go to Exodus 22:16.
Exodus.
Y'all get it. Exodus 22:16.
Exodus 22, verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
You read this all the time. Now it's time to delve into it. If a man entice a maid, entice a maid that is not betrothed or espoused, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. Right? Now get Deuteronomy 22:28. You can get that clip. You want to get it? How long is it? It'll be very short. All right, get that clip. You can get it now. Yeah, get me now. Get Deuteronomy 22 and 28 to 29.
Deuteronomy 22, verse 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed,
not espoused or promised to anyone, engaged to anyone. Go ahead, she's single. Go ahead.
and lay hold on her,
And lay hold of her,
and lie with her,
and
and they be found,
and they get caught, meaning this is on the low. They're creeping on the low. That's why it says they be found, because it's consensual. Go ahead.
then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days.
Why? Because he was trying to lay with her and not marry her. They were creeping. They were banging on the side, sleeping together on some boys. This is boyfriend and girlfriend. That's what this is. The law was, that's your girlfriend? No, that's your wife now. You can never put her away. Because there were stipulations where in marriage back then where you could put her away for any reason. But in this case, he can never do it. Because he snuck around and did it behind the father's back. You understand? Likewise, Exodus 22:16 is the same instance, the same thing. Backdoor marriage. That's what that is. Now, give me Exodus 22 and 17, because you know BHIs love verse 16, but they never ever read verse 17 for some odd reason.
Exodus 22:17. If her father utterly refused to give her unto him,
But if after he's enticed her and lay with her, and he shall pay a dowry, it says, but if her father refuses to give her to him after he's laid with her or humbled her, go ahead.
he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
Then he has to pay the father for the trouble he's caused by defiling his daughter, and he still doesn't get her. Because the guy did well, he enticed her and tried to get the what do you call it? Why buy the cow? You get the milk for free. The law is you gotta buy the cow, and you still can't have it. You gotta pay for the cow, and you can't have the cow. That's basically what it's saying. You lay with her, the father refused to give her to you, you still gotta pay him a dowry because you troubled this house by defiling his daughter. Now, you know what I sent you the link? Get that link first. Read that video. You got the video? All right. Give me the BibleHub.com, the commentary on Exodus 22. We're going to start at Benson commentary. No, we're going to start Matthew Poole's first. Go down to Matthew Poole's commentary on verse 17. Matthew Poole's first. We're going to read steps 1, 2, and 3. Right there, yep. Go down. Read question.
Question. Why is there no punishment for the woman?
Why? Because the woman went against her father and messed around with this man who enticed her. Remember that? That's verse 17. So the question is being asked, why is there no punishment for the woman for doing so? Watch this.
Answer. She had no distinct estate, being yet in her father's house.
She had no distinct estate being yet in her father's house. Because most of the time when a man marries a sister, she comes with inheritance. She comes with things. Go ahead.
Answer 2. The loss of her virginity was a sufficient punishment.
The loss of her virginity was a sufficient punishment. Watch this.
Especially in Israel, where it was a great reproach and prejudice.
It was a great reproach and prejudice in Israel for a sister to lose her virginity at the wrong time from the wrong man. Number 3.
Answer 3. She was not so culpable as the man.
She was not so, what's culpable mean? Culpable? Let's see what that word means. I believe it means at fault, right? Deserving blame. Go back. It means deserving blame. Go back. So she was not so to be blamed as the man. Go ahead, watch this.
Both because she was of the weaker sex.
Because weaker vessel. What did he do? He enticed her. Like the serpent did. Same thing. Go ahead.
And because she was drawn to the sin by the man's persuasion.
Drawn to the sin. What's the sin that she committed? What's the sin she committed? Who knows? What the sin she committed? By being drawn by the man's persuasion.
The sin she committed is fornication, sex before marriage.
Okay, what else?
She played the whore in her father's house.
What else?
But you guessing, man. Stop guessing. You know it, yes or no. Somebody
Pass it
else.
on.
You know.
Who else? Who else knows? Who else? Want to give it a try? No one else has an idea? How about honor thy father and mother? Honor thy father and thy mother. That's what she disregarded. Honoring her father and mother by going outside of her house, her parents' rules, and messing around with some dude. Being persuaded. Rather than going to her parents. Remember when Jacob ran to Rachel, what did she do? Took him to her parents. She didn't say, oh, let's mess around now. You cute. No. That's what y'all do on this side of the room. The Lord said, no, go to the parents. Now, where we at? This is about the man's persuasion. Go to Benson's commentary. Go up.
Hey, that goes into also when the scripture said, for he has humbled her. You know, because when the man talking to her
Right there, Benson.
and getting up in her head, that's him humbling her.
Manipulation.
Yeah.
Persuasion. Enticement. Read that, Benson commentary.
Benson commentary, Exodus 22:17. If the father refuse, he shall pay money. This shows how ill a thing it is, and by no means to be allowed.
It shows how ill a thing it is, and by no means to be allowed. Watch this.
That children should marry without their parents' consent.
That children should marry without their parents' consent. That it was not allowed to, not supposed to do that. Go ahead.
Even here, where the divine law appointed the marriage, both as a punishment to him that had done wrong.
He pays the bride price. Go ahead.
And a recompense to her that has suffered wrong. Yet there was an express reservation for the father's power.
Stop. There was an express reservation for the father's power. Despite them laying together, there was a reservation for the father's power. Go ahead.
If he denied his consent.
If the father denied the consent of the daughter being persuaded, go ahead.
It must be no marriage.
There's no marriage. That means your penis means nothing. The doctrine is the sex is marriage. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible says the father determines the marriage. You can label it all you want. The father say, no, that marriage is done. So that doctrine of you lay with her, it's your marriage, BHI doctrine, you lay with her, it's your wife. Nope. Now the parent says no. The father say no. How many of these Negroes that got multiple wives go to the parents? None of them. All these men that got 3, 4, 5 wives. You talk to their parents and ask them how they felt about them being wife number 4, 5, and 6? No. Nope. You do Exodus 22:16, the persuasion, the enticement. That's what you do. But that's not what God says to do.
Hey, when you read 17, that's why it says, if the father says no. If the father says no, then you got to pay money. But the father could say no.
You got to pay regardless. The father said no, you still pay because you still defiled her.
Yep.
But the father says no regardless. You still pay the dowry, but you don't get the wife. You're paying the father. That's a penalty. But defiling his daughter. Verse 16 is that the father decides, okay, go ahead. 17 is dowry regardless, and you still don't get no wife. Because you disrespected him and his house by defiling his daughter and getting her head. So a lot of these BHIs, these multiple wives, ask them, well, have you spoken to your wives' parents who were in their lives and raised them? Did you go to them and talk to them and see how they feel about the wife number 3 and 4? No. And you won't do it. Because you know it's evil as hell what you're doing. Now, go to Cambridge. So my point of this class is that you cannot say that sex is marriage. That doctrine is officially destroyed tonight. Cambridge. Read where it starts is a Bible for schools. Yeah, read that. Number 17, if forever.
Cambridge Bible for schools.
If however,
the father will not give her in marriage to her seducer.
To her what?
Seducer.
Her what?
Seducer.
Her seducer. His persuasion, her enticer. Go ahead.
he must still pay him the usual marriage price that would be expected for a daughter.
See? You still got to pay because it's a penalty for doing so. And that's what I want. Go to Kill and Delich. Go down. Kill and Delich. Kill and Delich, whatever, right there. We're going to go to where it starts at, read that. Start from there.
The seduction of a girl who belonged to her father.
Stop. The seduction of a girl who what?
Who belonged to her father as long as she was not betrothed.
She belonged to who as long as she was not married?
Her father.
She belonged to her father and her mother. If her father wasn't around, she belonged to her mother. That's who she belongs to before you put your penis in there. Supposed to go to him first. He's the gate. The parents are the gate and the keys to the wife. You niggas don't go around the back door, climb through the window, and call the third wife. No. Nope. Read on.
Was also to be regarded as an attack upon the family possession.
Read it again.
Was also to
from the top.
The seduction of a girl who belonged to her father as long as she was not betrothed was also to be regarded as an attack upon the family possession.
Upon what?
Upon the family possession.
When you mess around with a man's daughter, outside of him, you are attacking his possession. Because she does not belong to you. That's her father's possession. So when you go, these men had these so-called wives. I'm curious. Did you go to the father or the mother and talk to these women, mothers, about her being wife number 4 or 5? Nope. You on Facebook? Yo, what's up, Aquaf? What's going on, Con? You sexy. Look at you with your head wrap. Look at your nose ring. Ooh. It matches your dress. That's what you niggas is doing. On YouTube and Facebook, thirsting. Man sluts. In the DMs, all up in the DMs. Read it again.
The seduction of a girl who belonged to her father as long as she was not betrothed was also to be regarded as an attack upon the family possession.
Now I know when I do class, I have the tendency, I have to think like a Negro. So a Negro will then argue and say, what if she has no parents? Ain't that what you niggas was thinking, right? Ain't that what y'all thinking? I got you covered for tonight, though. I got you. What about no parents in the truth? What about that? What about the parents in the truth? They're still her parents. Regardless of they're in the truth or not. That's her parents. Read that?
Whoever persuaded a girl
You know what's crazy? These guys will say, well, they're in the world. But I guarantee they get her pregnant. Who watching the kids? The unbelieving parents, right? That you didn't talk to. Read that?
Whoever persuaded a girl to let him lie with her was to obtain her for a wife by the payment of a dowry.
Right, Genesis 34, verse 12. Go ahead.
And if her father refused to give her to him, he was to pay money equivalent to the dowry of maidens.
Well, virgins, go ahead.
To pay the father just as much for the disgrace.
Stop. To pay the father what?
For the disgrace brought upon him by the seduction of his daughter.
There you go. It's a penalty. Verse 17. Go ahead.
As maidens would receive for a dowry upon their marriage.
Go ahead.
The seduction of a girl who was betrothed was punished much more severely.
She was killed because she was already engaged. That's adultery. A punishment for a girl who was already engaged was punished more severely. She got death. Now, get me, who we at? Exodus 20 and 17. Exodus 20:17.
Exodus 20, verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
Not covet your neighbor's wife. Covet goes back to lust after. Go ahead.
Nor his manservant.
Don't cover his manservant.
Nor his maidservant.
Cover his maidservant.
Nor his ox. Nor his ass.
Nor what?
Nor his ox. Nor his ass. Nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
What's anything?
His daughter.
That's his children. Anything that's your neighbor's, don't covet after. You see on your neighbor's daughter? Oh, I want her. Damn. That's coveting. You're covetous. And because you lust for her so bad, you'll go against God and violate, honor thy father and mother, and take her anyway. And violate thou shalt not covet, which is thou shalt not do no lust. It's all the same. Go on, and you go on, and if you read earlier, if they be found, that goes to what? Lying. That's what that goes into. Deceit. Give me Deuteronomy 5 and 21. You know, black people don't listen. I'll read it again. Deuteronomy 5:21.
Deuteronomy 5 verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
Neither shalt thou desire thy neighbor's wife, neither shalt thou covet thy neighbor's house, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his ass, or anything that is thy neighbor's.
There we go again. If you're retarded the first time, hopefully you're sane this time. It's anything that is thy neighbor's, don't covet after, including his daughters or sons, whatever. Now, get me 2 Timothy 3 and 2. But what happens? The persuader, the enticement, the seducer, right? 2 Timothy 2 verse 1. Why do men do this? Why do men go around the father and take her anyway? What reason would they do that? Let's see why.
2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 2.
Remember, covetousness is idolatry, right? Colossians 3 and 5 says covetousness is idolatry, right? Read us.
You want verse 1 or 2?
1.
2 Timothy.
Yeah, 1. 2 Timothy 3 and 2, yes.
2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
Ah, that's it. For men shall be lovers of their own selves. Lay with her regardless of what the father or mother would think. They don't care. So what that means? That means that when you covet it, because you're your own God. You're serving you and your own interests. Go ahead.
Covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents.
Stop. Disobedient to parents. Like the one you're laying with. Her parents, you disobeyed them by going against them, by laying with their daughter in secret. Because you love yourself, because you're covetous. Go ahead.
Unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God.
That's what the multiple wives saying. Lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. Go ahead.
Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away.
Sound. Go ahead.
For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women.
Read 6 again.
For of this sort
of men, go ahead,
are they which creep into houses.
Which creep into houses behind the father's back or mother's back. Go ahead.
And lead captive silly women.
Lead, seduce, or entice, or persuade silly women. Stupid women. Disrespectful and disobedient to their parents. That they'll go along with the enticement. They'll go along with the seduction and persuasion. Because they silly hoes.
Hey, Deacon, you know why that's heavy? Because a righteous sister gonna say, listen, I ain't talking to you. You got to go to my father. You got to go and talk to my father. I'm not talking to you. You know, because he got brothers inside IUIC a little time with you going to touch on that concerning the spiritual father? You touching on that too? Yep. All right.
Go ahead. Go down. Read on.
Verse 7. Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
They know better, but they don't care. Go ahead.
Now as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses.
As Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, these men are the same way. Go ahead.
So do these also resist the truth.
Resist the law. Go ahead.
Men of corrupt minds.
Men of corrupt minds.
Reprobate concerning the faith. But they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as there also was.
Eventually you'll get caught. Eventually you'll whoredom, you'll get exposed. Just as Jannes and Jambres were with Moses, for being phony and fake, you men that love yourselves will be exposed also. Occasionally y'all get caught. You'll catch your text messages, we'll see them. Hey, shalom, sis. Yeah, I'm going to be an officer soon. Yeah, I'm going to be your husband soon. Shh, I didn't talk to you. Shh, I didn't talk to you. You didn't have this conversation. That's you.
Don't tell leadership.
Don't tell leadership. That's what y'all do. Lovers themselves. Go to, what is it one? Exodus 20 and 12.
Exodus 20 verse 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
It doesn't just refer to your parents, it's referring to other parents as well, not just yours. Honor thy father and thy mother. That's first and foremost yours. But other parents you also honor as well. That doesn't exclude them. Now, give me Numbers 30, verse 1. You're going to speak to that real quick.
Numbers chapter 30, verse 1. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded.
Come on.
If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeded out of his mouth.
Come on.
If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth.
Being in her father's house in her youth. Okay, that's what women are. Under their father's authority. Go ahead.
And her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul. Her father shall hold his peace at her. Then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand.
So if a sister makes a vow to the Lord, and the father holds his peace, that order, the Lord accepts it. That the father accepts it. The father has power over the daughter's prayer, over her oaths, her vows. That's the power the father has. Go ahead.
But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth, not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand, and the Lord shall forgive her, because her father disallowed her.
So the father has the power to say, nope, Lord, disregard that, disavow that. Disregard. The father has power over that. Read on.
And if she had at all an husband, when she vowed or uttered out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it.
And her husband now here. Go ahead.
And held his peace at her in the day that he heard it. Then her vows shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallow her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect, and the Lord shall forgive her.
That shows you what? That shows that the husband has the same authority he was now inherited from the father. So the father's authority he had over the daughter once she's married is passed on to the son-in-law. All right, read on.
But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their soul, shall stand against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house and bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it and held her peace at her and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand.
Right, so a widow or a woman that's divorced, if she makes a vow, that's on her. A woman that's married, it's on the husband. That's the authority. Now,
right. Meaning your wife could say some dumb stuff and you just tell the Lord, don't listen to her. You know, for real.
Esther 2 and 5. Esther 2 and 5.
Esther chapter 2 verse 5. Now in Shushan, the palace, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity which had been carried away with Jehoiakim, king of Judah.
Jeconiah, king of Judah,
whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away.
Verse 7.
And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, her uncle's daughter.
His uncle's daughter. Read again.
And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter.
So Mordecai had brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter. So she's his cousin. He brought her up. Watch this.
For she had neither father nor mother, and the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead,
when her father and mother died, go ahead,
took for his own daughter.
He raised her as his own. Women were always, I repeat, always under the authority of a man unless they were divorced or old. When even they were old, still under a man in some way or another. Like it was earlier about a widow, woman who's divorced or widow. Because if she's widow, they're usually old by that time. They're old, their husband's dead and gone, their parents are dead and gone, so now she's on her own. But in the congregation, even the widows were taken care of by the elders. Always taken care of by the elders, the widows. In divorce are taken care of by the men always. Women always, from the time they're born to the time they die, have a man over them. Always. Y'all on your own, you see the result. Y'all doing your own thing, that don't work for you. Where we at? What was that verse? Was that verse 7?
That was verse 7, yes, sir.
Hold on. Jump to verse 15 and 20.
Verse 15. Now when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go in unto the king.
It was time for her to go be married to the king. Go ahead.
She required nothing but what Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her.
Verse 20.
Verse 20. Esther had not yet showed herself kindred, nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai.
Esther what?
Did the commandment of Mordecai.
Esther did the commandment of Mordecai. Why? Read on.
Like as when she was brought up with him.
Because he raised her as his own. Mordecai was her father. Her cousin, but her father, because her parents were dead. He raised her as his own daughter. And she followed his commandments, which is why she didn't reveal her nationality, because he said not to. That's no parents, you wicked Negroes. No parents. We'll go further. Go to 1 Corinthians 11, verse 8.
First Corinthians 11, verse 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man.
The woman came out of the man. Go ahead.
Neither was the man created for the woman.
We were not made for y'all. Go ahead.
But the woman for the man.
Y'all were made for us. Go ahead.
For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head.
Woman ought to have power what?
On her head.
Have the power on her head. Go ahead.
Because of the angels.
Because of the angels. And my Bible says, verse number 7, that is a covering, is a sign that she is under the power of her husband. That's why when Rebecca lied off the camel, she said, who's that? He said, my master. What'd she do? Cover the head. Because now she's under the authority of Isaac, which she once was under Laban. No, I mean under whoever, her father. Because Laban's her brother. You understand? You understand? So let's read verse 10 again.
For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head.
And her head to be covered. Go ahead.
Because of the angels.
Because of the men, the leaders, the elders over her. Read on with it. Read on to verse 12.
Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord.
We both need each other. Go ahead.
For as the woman is of the man,
as woman came out of the man, go ahead.
Even so is the man also by the woman.
We come into the world by the woman. Y'all come out of us, we come into the world by you. Out the womb. Go ahead.
But all things of God.
But we both come from the Lord. Get Tobit 6:17.
Tobit chapter 6 verse 17. And the devil shall smell it and flee away.
Going into the devil that was around what's her name? Yeah, Asmodeus, around his sister. Go ahead. Anna. What's her name? Anna? Where we at? Tobit 6:17. Her name is go ahead. Around the sister. Go ahead.
And the devil shall smell it and flee away, and never come again anymore. But when thou shalt come to her, rise up both of you, and pray to God which is merciful, who hath pity on you, and save you. Fear not, for she is appointed unto thee from the beginning. And thou shalt preserve her, and she shall go with thee. Moreover, I suppose that she shall bear thee children.
Now, verse 17, it says, for she is appointed unto thee from the beginning. She is appointed unto you from the beginning. So remember, she was the promise to all these different men. They were all getting killed by the spirit that was around her. Because in the end, she came to realize she was predestined for Tobit. Just as Rebecca was predestined for Isaac. Rachel and Leah for Jacob. You understand? It was already predetermined beforehand. But did she know this? No, she did not know. Did Rebecca know? No, she did not know. Did Mary know? No, she did not know. For she is appointed unto thee from the beginning. Read on. This from that part. And thou?
And thou shalt preserve her,
And now you shall preserve her as her father did. Go ahead.
and she shall go with thee. Moreover, I suppose that she shall bear thee children. Now when Tobias had heard these things, he loved her, and his heart was effectually joined to her.
Just like, same thing with Rebecca. His heart was comforted when he got with Rebecca. Now, get Tobit 8, verse 1. No, Tobit 7, verse 12.
Tobit 7, verse 12. Raguel said, Then take her from henceforth according to the manner, for thou art her cousin, and she is thine.
And she is what?
She is thine.
She is yours. She is thine. Go ahead.
And the merciful God give you good success in all things.
Come on.
Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father, and he took her by the hand.
My name is Sarah. That's his name. Sarah, go ahead. I said Anna. Sarah, go ahead.
And gave her to wife to Tobias, saying, Behold, take her after the law of Moses, and lead her away to thy father. And he blessed them.
Go ahead.
And called Edna his wife, and took paper, and did write an instrument of covenants, and sealed it.
What's that called? A bill of marriage. Certificate. Marriage certificate. Instrument of covenants is a bill of marriage. Go ahead.
Then they began to eat. After Raguel called his wife Edna, and said unto her, Sister, prepare another chamber, and bring her in thither.
Just like Isaac took Rebecca into his mother Sarah's tent. We're reading the tradition of them coming together in detail. Just like with Laban and Jacob went into the tent with Leah. Same thing. With a feast, same thing. Go ahead.
Which when she had done as he had bidden her, she brought her thither.
She brought her in the tent. Go ahead.
And she wept, and she received the tears of her daughter, and said unto her, Be of good comfort, my daughter. The Lord of heaven and earth give thee joy for this thy sorrow. Be of good comfort, my daughter.
Chapter 8, verse 1.
8 verse 1.
To verse 4. Go ahead.
And when they had supped, they brought Tobias in unto her. And as he went, he remembered the words of Raphael.
Jump to verse 4.
Verse 4. And after that, they were both shut in together. Tobias arose out of the bed.
After they laid together, so the marriage was finalized through the sex. So sex is not the marriage. It's the institution of marriage. The marriage is first and foremost the parents' authority. That is the marriage. The institution of that marriage is the sex. But the first and most vital part above the sex is the parental consent. That is the marriage. Not your penis. No. Parental consent is the end or is the marriage. Sex is not the marriage. It's part of the marriage, but it's not the marriage. The marriage is the moment the father said, I want you to marry my daughter. That's the marriage. I want you to marry my son. That's the marriage. The parents agreeing. That's the marriage. I prove it. Read on where we at. Verse 4. Read verse 4 again.
And after that, they were both shut in together. Tobias rose out of the bed and said, Sister, arise, and let us pray that God would have pity on us.
Get 10 verse 17 regarding parents.
Verse
10, 17.
Verse 17.
No, 10, 12. 10 to 12. There's no 10, 17. 10, 12. I'm sorry.
Oh, chapter 10, verse 12. Okay,
yes, Tobit.
Tobit chapter 10, verse 12. And he said to his daughter, Honor thy father and thy mother-in-law.
Honor your father and mother what?
Mother-in-law.
In-laws. Honor your in-laws. Honor your father and mother-in-law. Go ahead.
Which are now thy parents.
Which are now your parents too. Go ahead.
That I may hear good report of thee. And he kissed her. Edna also said to Tobias, The Lord of heaven restore thee, my dear brother, and grant that I may see thy children of my daughter Sarah before I die, that I may rejoice before the Lord. Behold, I commit my daughter unto thee of special trust.
Why? Because the responsibility of the father has now been bestowed upon the husband. Like Numbers 30, verse 1 through 8. I commit my daughter to thee of what?
Of special trust. Wherefore, do not entreat her evil.
Do not entreat her evil. Because now the responsibility I had of taking care of her and preserving her is now passed on to you. But some Negroes is like, nah, the hell with that. Deuteronomy 22:22. Deuteronomy 22:22. We'll fly through this now.
Deuteronomy 22:22. If a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then shall they both die. Both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel.
Right, so she's married, you lay with her, you can put to death. She died and you die together. Now get 23-24. Next verse.
23, 24?
No, next verse.
sorry.
Read next
Yes,
verse.
sir.
Read the next verse.
If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto an husband.
But damsel that is a virgin be engaged or espoused. Go ahead.
And a man find her in the city.
No, read verse 23 again from the top.
Yes, sir. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto an husband, and a man find her in the city, and lie with her.
Come on.
Then ye shall bring them.
Take your time. Read 24 again.
Then ye shall bring them both out into the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die.
So if a man finds a damsel that's betrothed and lay with her, and they get caught, you shall stone them with stones that they die. We read there earlier about the severe punishment if she's betrothed. We're reading it here. Go ahead.
The damsel, because she cried not.
Because there was consensual. Go ahead.
Being in the city. And the man, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife.
Stop. Humbled what?
His neighbor's wife.
I thought sex was marriage. This is her engaged. She didn't lay with a man yet. He have humbled his neighbor's wife. Why is she his wife? Because she was engaged. The father already had her promised to someone else. So by the father's authority, she's already married before it's finalized with sex. So when you lay with a sister that's engaged to somebody else, you violate the father's covenant or establishment of that marriage. Therefore, you die also. Just as you would die if she was married, you die too. It's the same thing. In verse 22. Read on.
So shalt thou put away evil from among you.
The same rule applies. That's all I want. Now, give me 22:13. Go up. Verse 13.
Verse 13. If any man take a wife and go in unto her.
Hey, can I say something real
Yeah,
quick?
sure.
No, a lot of times when you read Exodus 22:16, before you read 17, a lot of times what the father does do, even though he's angry, because his daughter virginity was taken, sometimes he allow you to marry her. You know, because he like, this dude violating my daughter. You know, ain't no other man gonna want her.
Yes.
So sometimes the brother gonna say, you know what? Give me my money and take her, man. You know, that's what he do. You know, so
because there's no dowry, there's no token of a virginity.
Right.
So it's been
right,
taken. So she's
right.
she's disgraced the family.
Exactly. So,
This is getting take her. You already disgraced my family. You disgraced me. Take her. Get out of here. But sometimes
he said,
father
hell
go,
no.
hell no. I'll deal with the consequences. But no. 13.
Verse 13. If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her and give occasions of speech against her and bring up an evil name upon her and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid.
Right. So he's saying that he lay with her, she didn't bleed. Because someone got in there before me, is what he's saying. That's his claim. Go ahead.
Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hateth her.
You don't want to be with her. Go ahead.
And lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her.
He's slandering her. Go ahead.
Saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity.
There's evidence that when he lay with her, she bled. She was a virgin. Go ahead.
And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city.
The token. Go ahead.
And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him.
They beat him. Go ahead.
And they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver.
And then they charged him twice the amount of a dowry price, which is 50.
Hey, Deacon, can we do that? Can we do that to some of these brothers that violate sisters?
No.
No, we can't do that in Christ, right?
No, we can't.
Can't beat nobody up. Like,
problem.
I was talking to this brother. He ended up dishonoring his father-in-law. You know, you know what I'm talking about. You know, he said he's back. He ended up dishonoring his father-in-law. I said, listen, man. I said, you lucky. Me, I would have beat you up. You know what I mean? You violate my daughter. You know, that's what we're reading right here.
Yeah.
You know, read it.
Read on.
And give them unto the father of the damsel, because he had brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel. and she shall be his wife, and he may not put her away all his days.
Never put her away, because he lied on her. Never put her away. What verse is that? 19, read on to verse, what I say to read to, 21? Yeah, read on, verse 21.
But if this thing be true,
But if his claims are true, and he lay with her, and she was tampered with before he got there, go ahead.
and the tokens of virginity be not found,
And
for
there's
the
no
damsel,
sign that she bled in the sheet. Go ahead.
then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die.
No, it's just her father's house. They kill her in front of her father's house. Because she got defiled in her father's house, so she's going to die outside that same house. Why? Because this sister is guilty of what we read here in verse 28. If a man find a damsel that's a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found. This chick didn't get caught. They didn't get caught. But when it came time to consummate a marriage, to complete the marriage, like, yo, what the hell is this? Where's the tokens at? Because she already messed around. She was creeping. Someone creeped into that silly woman's house. When she gets caught, she dies here.
Right. It was not a norm for sisters, a damsel, to not to be, not. It was not a norm for a woman never married to have sex already. Like you see in society today, how a lot of you sisters, you all never been married, but you all been having sex in high school. You all been having sex. That was not a norm amongst our people.
Mm-hmm.
If you was a young woman and you had sex and it was found out, you was stoned. You understand? You was stoned. What you see going on in society today? Our people, the Lord, that wasn't going on in the time we're reading about right here.
Right. Give me 1 Timothy 5, verse 1.
1 Timothy 5, verse 1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father.
Do what?
Entreat him as a father.
Do what?
Entreat him as a father.
So in a sister, that's why we say all the time, a congregation is a necessary. It's commandment. Because if you're on your own, you're going to die here. Under the laws of God, a convocation, you had to be under someone. Israel was always under someone, whether in the congregation in terms of with Moses or Paul in the churches. They were under leadership, under a structure. Individualites is in the world. They're freaking doomed to death. They're not spoken of in the Bible because they're not important. They was doing their own thing. Read verse 1 again.
Rebuke not an elder.
Rebuke not an elder. Go ahead.
But entreat him as a father.
You're to entreat your elders as fathers. Go ahead.
And the younger men as brethren.
And younger men as brothers. It's supposed to be family. Verse 2.
The elder women as mothers.
And the elder women as mothers. So when your parents are in the world, they were never in your life, never involved in your life at all, of nothing to do with you. They may have been strung out on drugs or alcohol or whatever, or dead. Then your parents, in the truth, are the leaders over you. The aged men and women, that's your fathers and mothers at this point. So when y'all do these backdoor marriages, what are you violating? Honor thy father and mother. You're violating that. You're violating not to be covetous. You're violating all that stuff. Thou shalt bear false witness. They'll deal deceitfully with each other. You're violating that too. Read verse 2 again.
The elder women as mothers. The younger as sisters with all purity.
Younger, so we all supposed to be one family unit. Sisters. Now, give me 2 Maccabees 14:37. These I can fly through. 2 Maccabees 14:37. I say, oh no, that's not biblical. You're not no spiritual father. That's not in the Bible. Okay.
Hey, this dude left up out of here. Then he was trying to talk to a sister that's in the congregation. You know? So I tell her, I said, yo, he called his sister. I was there. I answered the phone. I said, bro, why you calling my house and disrespecting me, man? You left up out of here. You give us the finger. You said to hell with us. Why you calling my house and trying to talk to the sister? You know, I told the sister, I said, don't talk to him again. Tell him don't call you back. And she told him, yo, Deacon said don't talk to you no more. And that was it. That's the power that we have over these sisters.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's why I wonder why you have to have a head cover. Why? That's a sign that you are under the authority of the men. Whether it be your father, your elders, or your uncle, or your cousin, like Esther was, or your older brother, if your parents are gone, a male figure was always in your lives. Always. That's how it was supposed to be. And they would gladly now and guide you. Now, y'all all effed up. Independent, do my own thing, getting shot in the feet, getting divorced, brag about your wife while getting divorced.
And
Don't make no sense.
And the reason why it's set up like that, Deacon Aiton, is because as men, we could peep game. You understand? So when brothers come up in and they come with the game and trying to seduce you and get up in your head, yo, we gonna let you know, listen, this dude is full of crap. Leave him alone. Right. You understand? We're gonna let you sisters know. That's what we are here for, to protect you all.
Mm-hmm. And I'll give you an example. I was watching the comments. I like to watch the comments sometimes on videos. And the brother they were speaking evil of us, of course. And the brother said, yo, man, I was trying to holler at this sister, man. All the bad chicks, man, it's an IUIC, man. All the baddies, they got all the baddies over there. They got all. I try to holler at her, and she with them. She told me she with them. She can't mess with me. So why am I bringing that up? Because a lot of these brothers will slither their evil black asses up in here, pretend they believe, get up in your drawers and take your silly behind right up out of here. Because y'all want to violate honor your father and mother. You want to violate being covetous, being silly. That's what happens. Be mindful. So we tell y'all, follow the counsel. Follow the guidance of the men over you. Some of y'all ignore that. Some brothers come up here, some sisters walk up in the congregation within 2 weeks. Brother give it an eye, 4 days. And that's not even me making it up. That's verbatim. Happening in schools. Verbatim. Read 2 Maccabees 14:37.
2 Maccabees 14:37. Now was there accused unto Nicanor one Razes.
One Razes, go ahead.
One of the elders of Jerusalem.
Razes was an elder of Jerusalem. Go ahead.
A lover of his countrymen.
He loved his people. Watch this.
And a man of very good report.
Good reputation.
Who for his kindness was called a father of the Jews.
What was he called as an elder?
A father of the Jews.
A father of the Jews. Elder was called the father of the Jews. That's what he was called. That's what the elders represented. Parenthood. They were your elders were your extended parents. Where your parents weren't, the elders were. 2 Kings 2:11.
Second Kings chapter 2 verse 11. And it came to pass as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and a horses of fire, and parted them both asunder.
Elijah and Elisha, go ahead.
And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven.
Elijah was taken up, go ahead.
And Elisha saw it and cried, my father, my father.
What did Elisha call Elijah?
My father, my father.
My father, my father, go ahead.
The chariot of Israel and the horsemen thereof.
And the horsemen thereof. So he was gone, but Elisha called Elijah, my father, my father. Was he his father? No. He was his elder. Get 13 verse 14. 2 Kings 13:14. This is when Elisha died. You remember Elijah died? What happened when Elisha died? 2 Kings 13:14.
2 Kings 13:14. Mm-hmm. Now Elisha was stricken, was fallen sick of his sickness, whereof he died.
Right. Go ahead.
And Joash the king of Israel came down unto him and wept over his face and said,
what?
O my father, the chariot of Israel and the horsemen thereof.
So Elisha was called the father too. So I'm showing you that biblically the elders are referred to as fathers. Fathers, the elders are the fathers. Get some 1 Maccabees 2:65. Almost done. 1 Maccabees 2:65.
1 Maccabees 2 verse 65. And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you.
He shall be what?
A father unto you.
He shall be the father amongst y'all. Go ahead.
As for Judas Maccabeus, he hath been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain.
Hold on a second. Where you at? 265?
You said you keep going.
Where you at?
66 now.
Hold on a second. Let me get it. tells about his counsel. Something about his counsel. Where's it at?
65 said that.
Yeah, read that. Read it again.
And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always.
Give ear unto him always. I'm sorry, I bypassed it. Give ear unto him always. Simon was the one that gave the counsel, the advice. As we as the elders appear, give you sisters regarding marriage and so forth and the steps to take. Simon was the same way. He was set up the same way. He was the counselor, the elder of the brothers. Judah Maccabees was the fighter. Read again.
And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you.
That was his attribute. He was the elder, the father unto them. Now, get Luke 2:41. Luke 2:41.
Luke 2, verse 41. Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. And when they had fulfilled the days, as they returned, the child Jesus tarried behind in Jerusalem.
He stayed behind Jerusalem when the parents returned home. Go ahead.
And Joseph and his mother knew not of it.
They didn't know he left. Go ahead.
But they, supposing him to have been in the company, went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinfolk and acquaintance.
Come on.
And when they found him not, they turned back again to Jerusalem, seeking him. And it came to pass that after 3 days,
Go ahead.
they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. And when they saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I have sought thee sorrowing. And he said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Wist ye not that I must be about my father's business?
Damn, I'm busy. Go ahead.
And they understood not the saying which he spake unto them.
They didn't remember my father's business. They didn't get it. Go ahead.
And
you figured they'd get it because he was born miraculously, right? Wouldn't they get it? My father's business? Who's his father? Who's he talking about? I'm his father. Why are they confused about that? If he was born miraculously, they would have known what he meant by my father's business. Right? Read on.
51. And he went down with them and came to Nazareth.
And he left with them. Go ahead.
And was subject unto them.
And was what?
Subject unto them.
Go ahead.
But his mother kept all these sayings in her heart.
Now, why was he subject unto them? Jump up to verse 42.
42. And when he was 12 years old.
Stop. Go back down to verse 51.
51. He went down with them and came to Nazareth and was subject unto them.
Because he was a child. 12-year-olds are kids. Y'all follow? Good. Now, let's get Mark 5, 21. So, reason why you read about, it talks about age of manhood for a man, which when they go to war, is 20 years old. But we oftentimes ask ourselves, well, where's the age limit for a woman to be, considered a grown woman? Because, there's no age for her. The reason why there's no age for a woman is because a woman can be betrothed or engaged to a man at any age until a father consents. So a man, the age is 20. A girl can be promised to a man from the moment she's freaking 2, 3 years old. 2 or 3. She could be espoused. You understand? But then she reaches a certain age. So I'm going to show you that the age between a man and woman is the same. It equates to the same thing. Man and woman. When a man is married by law, go to war 20. But people say, well, where's this about the woman? What I'm going to show you is that, we read earlier, the Messiah was 12 years old, right? He was a kid, and he was subject to his parents, right? Y'all follow? Okay, Mark 5 and 21. I'm going to show you how the ages go hand in hand. Women come from us. Mark 5:21.
Mark 5:21. And when Jesus was passed over again by ship unto the other side, much people gathered unto him, and he was nigh unto the sea.
Come on.
And behold, there cometh one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name.
Jairus by name. So a ruler of the synagogue named Jairus came to him. Go ahead.
And when he saw him, he fell at his feet.
Jairus, the ruler, fell down to Christ's feet. Go ahead.
And besought him greatly, saying, My little daughter.
Stop. My what?
My little daughter.
Stop. My what?
Little daughter.
My little daughter. My little daughter. Go ahead.
Lieth at the point of death.
She's dying. Go ahead.
I pray thee, come and lay thy hands on her, that she may be healed.
That she may be what?
That she may be healed.
Maybe healed. Come on now. Maybe healed. The hell is this? The southern accent came out of nowhere. Read 23 again. The hell is this?
It's from my mother's side.
23, please.
And besought him greatly, saying, My little daughter
My little daughter, go ahead.
lieth at the point of death.
She's dying. Go ahead.
I pray thee, come and lay thy hands on her, that she may be healed, and she shall live.
And she shall live. So my little daughter, right? My little daughter. My little daughter. Now go to jump to verse 35.
35. While he yet spake, there came from the ruler of the synagogues house certain which said,
No, you're reading it wrong. While he yet spake, there came from the ruler of the synagogue's house certain which said. So the men, Jairus' men came. Remember, the Messiah was being overrun pretty much. He was healing people over here. He was very busy. So Jairus' men from the synagogue came after, again, the second time. Go ahead, read again.
While he yet spake, there came from the ruler of the synagogue's house certain which said,
To Jairus' house, saying what?
Thy daughter is dead. Why troublest thou the master any further?
Why are you bothering him? Your daughter is dead. Leave him alone. Go ahead.
As soon as Jesus heard the word that was spoken, he saith unto the ruler of the synagogue, Be not afraid, only believe.
Come on.
And he suffered no man to follow him, save Peter and James and John, the brother of James.
The elders. Go ahead.
And he cometh to the house of the ruler of the synagogue, and seeth the tumult, and them that wept and wailed greatly. And when he was come in, he saith unto them, Why make ye this ado, and weep? The damsel is not dead, but sleepeth.
The damsel's not dead. What you guys crying for? She's just asleep. Go ahead.
And they laughed him to scorn.
They laughed him aside to scorn. Sleep. Yo, she's not even breathing. What's this guy talking about? She's dead. Go ahead.
But when he had put them all out,
he said, listen, all y'all leave me in here alone with her. Go ahead.
He taketh the father and the mother of the damsel, and them that were with him, and entered in where the damsel was lying.
So he brought the parents into the room. It was them alone. It was them and the disciples alone with her. Go ahead. Not the parents. Go ahead.
And he took the damsel by the hand.
Grabbed her hand, the lifeless hand. Go ahead.
And said unto her, Talitha cumi,
Go ahead.
Which is, being interpreted, Damsel, I say unto thee, arise.
Damsel, get up. Go ahead.
And straightway the damsel arose and walked.
Straightway she got up and started walking. Watch this.
For she was of the age of 12 years.
She was 12 years old. What did Jairus call her initially? My little daughter. When the Messiah was 12, he was what? Subject to his parents. So 12-year-olds between a male and a female is the same. 20-year-old between a male and female, grown, is the same. Read on.
And they were astonished with a great astonishment.
Now, that's what I want now. Let's see what Talitha means. Give me BLB Classic. Blue letter, I want. Blue letter. One the niggas love. BLB Classic. Go to click Talitha. Click that, please. Click the number next to it. Right there. Yeah. Go down. It says damsel maiden. Go down. It says right there. Read that. It says the what?
Of Chaldean origin, the fresh.
The fresh. Go ahead.
I.e., young girl.
Young girl. Go out of that. Go out. Young girl. Go out. This back. Okay, go down to damsel. Click damsel. Right there. Interpreted damsel. What did that say?
Damsel, a girl. Damsel, maiden.
Go down. Right there. Read that. Start to read that.
Neuter of a presumed derivative of a maiden. A little girl.
A what?
A little girl.
A little girl. A little girl or damsel, a maid. That's why I said interpreted damsel arise. Go to what I sent you in Google. Talitha in Hebrew. Go up. Right there. What's that say? Talitha means what?
Little girl or maiden in Aramaic, and little lamb, feminine in Hebrew.
So, little girl. The Messiah called a 12-year-old a little girl. So a 12-year-old boy is a little boy, and a 12-year-old girl is a little girl. I don't care how much she's bleeding. She's a little girl. You pervy bastards out there online. It's about 12 years old. She's a grown woman. No, she is not. She is a little girl. That's what her father said in Luke. So therefore, if a 12-year-old little girl is a little girl, and the 12-year-old little boy is a little boy, then a 20-year-old man is a man, and a 20-year-old girl is a woman. It's that clear. Very clear. They both link together. Give me Hebrews 13:7. Now, other countries and so forth, they'll say a little grown woman is 15, 16. No, we're going to go by what the Bible says. If a 12-year-old boy is 12, little boy is 12, and a 12-year-old little girl is 12, we're going to say the 20-year-old girl is grown. Now, of course, the powers that be, Romans 13, you'll be mindful with that because that varies in different countries and so forth. So our congregation is going to go off of that.
Right. Don't matter what country you at. Those of you all in Jamaica, in Jamaica, age of consent is 16. We don't want to hear that.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Oh, the age of consent is 16, so you go marry your sister when she's 16 over there.
Right.
You're going to wait till she's 20 and up.
20
you
and
understand what I'm
That's our
saying?
orders here.
And thus says the Lord. We coming out of the scripture and show you all that's how we do it. And Deacon Iton, what's so heavy in what you brought out right there, right? Concerning when a girl is 12 years old, she's still a kid.
Yes.
She's still a child. Because I always hear dumb black Hebrew Israelites always arguing about the age of consent or the age for where a girl could get married and have sex and so forth. And they say 12. But it's not lawful here, so we can't do it. But the age is 12. That's to show you how messed up these men understanding
and
is.
corrupt minds.
And how corrupt their mind is. Now, you had said early on, your daughter could be 2 years old. You could betroth her. You're going to say, oh, your son, you know what, I'm going to betroth my daughter to your son. And when they become of age, of maritable age,
right.
20 or up, we bring them together, let them get married. But betroth could take place, from the time the kid born. I could say, listen, my first daughter, I'm going to promise her to your son, Deacon Iton.
Right.
Me and him make that arrangement, you know what I mean? But not until that kid meet of age, they could get married, and even though that's already they're gonna already be married, and not because of the covenant me and you make.
Right.
But they are not to lay down with each other until they meet of age and so forth.
Consent of the parents.
And get the consent of us.
Right.
Okay, that's some heavy stuff you bring out though,
All praises. Give me Hebrews 13, verse 7. These last two we out.
Hebrews 13, verse 7.
7 and verse 13.
Remember them which have the rule over you.
Remember them which have the rule over you. Go ahead.
Who have spoken unto you the word of God, whose faith follow, considering the end of their conversation.
This is the end of our conversation, brothers and sisters. This is the end of our conversation. Whether you hear it or not, it's on you. I don't want to be a backdoor wife. Hey, have fun. Backdoor husband, have fun. Go to verse 13.
13. Let us go forth, therefore, unto him without the camp.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not 13. 17.
17. Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves.
Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves. Submit yourselves. Go ahead.
For they watch for your souls.
Why? What? Read again.
They watch for your soul.
What do elders do?
They watch for your soul.
That's why when y'all sisters go outside the orders we give and things happen, it's on you. Because we watch for y'all. We set things up so y'all don't get hurt. And y'all go outside the order, you mess around with a man that ends up being abusive, ends up being crazy on pills. Because you want to go outside of the orders given. You don't take heed to the end of our conversation. And that's when you end up suffering the consequences. Look at Dinah. Dinah wandered off. Look what happened to her. Wandering off. Read again.
Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls.
Come on.
As they that must give account.
Come on.
That they may do it with joy, and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you.
Right, we do it with joy. We look over you with joy, not as in a burden or a grievance. But we look for you. We watch out for you. We make sure we have counsel among ourselves. Okay, we should set a marriage from now on. Let them be 20 and up. We discuss these among ourselves to assure that things are run smooth and in order and structure. To assure that you don't come across some stupid Negro calling himself an Israelite will make you wipe number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Get Matthew 18. Excuse me, Matthew 18. Matthew 18, 15 is the last one. Matthew 18, we're going to read verse 15 to 20, and that's it.
Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Right.
If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
Right, you reconcile. Go ahead.
But if he will not hear thee, Then thou shalt take with thee 1 or 2 more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be
You
established.
get 2 men of leadership to establish a matter. Witnesses, go ahead.
And if he shall neglect to hear them,
If you neglect to hear those 2 witnesses or 3, go ahead.
tell it unto the church.
Go to the elders now. Go ahead.
But if you neglect to hear the church,
The elders, the leaders, go ahead.
let him be as unto thee as a heathen man and a publican.
Let him treat him as a heathen man and a publican who was despised at that time. Verse 18, watch this.
Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven.
What the elders established on earth is bound in heaven. Likewise, Numbers 30. Where a man says, nope, no more of that, disavow that. What he bound on earth is bound in heaven. It's the same order with the elders over the congregation. It's the same thing. Read on.
And whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven.
Whatsoever we loose on earth, the Most High says, okay, that's your decision. I'm down with that decision. If they go against those orders, things will happen to them. Because I bound it in heaven. If you bind it on earth, I'll bind it in heaven. If you loose it or end it, I'll end it. I'm in agreement with you. Likewise, as the father and the husband, same thing in Numbers 30. Same thing with the elders. Same thing with Moses. Same thing with Simon. Same thing with Joshua. Same thing. Same thing with Samuel, Elijah, Elisha. What they bound on earth was bound in heaven. Same thing. Read on.
Again, I say unto you,
Again, I'm going to say it to you again. Go ahead.
that if 2 of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them as my Father which is in heaven.
He's explaining verse 18. What you ask for on earth, the Father will oblige you in heaven. In heaven. Read on.
For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name.
Who's the 2 or 3? It's the elders. The leaders. Remember, Peter, James, and John. The pillars, the elders. Where 2 or 3 of them are gathered in my name. Go ahead.
There am I in the midst of them.
Midst of them doing what? Whatever they bind on earth, I bind on earth. In heaven. That's what he's talking about. Not 2 or 3 dumbass individualites being together. Yeah, we're 2 or 3. He ain't talking about you. Referring to the elders, the leaders. That's what he's talking about. Not some individualites in their home watching these classes. Which makes no type of sense to me. None.
Right, right.
Why leave and watch us? Why? Why not leave and do... No, don't watch. What did Ignatius say? Don't watch me. Watch TV. Why are you watching us for? If you want to leave. If you want to leave, stay and be quiet. That's it.
Right.
So I'm going to
Hey.
end it on that. Yeah,
Hey, that's so crazy, right? Well, that's so crazy. When it says where 1 or 2 come together, like a lot of time people break that down and they literally think it's talking about, you know what? If 1 or 2 of us come together, the Lord is in the midst of us. No, that it's talking about the leaders, the elders that was set up. You know, whatever decision they make, the Lord honor it. Whatever decision they make, sometimes we gonna make decisions inside here. That's to show you all the kind of power that the leaders have. Because the leaders and them rolling in the spirit of Christ and judging in the spirit of Christ, the decision they make is honor in heaven. So when we tell you, listen, don't marry that brother. We tell you, leave that brother alone. And you give us the middle finger and you go do it anyways, all of you all always end up in a horrible marriage. You know what I mean? Things turn out to be horrible. Why? Because guess what? The Lord heard when we told you all leave that brother alone.
Sister alone.
Or leave that sister alone. We said give that person some time to grow. You give us the finger and you still went against us. So guess what? Whatever we bind on earth is bind in heaven. Where 1, 2 of us come together and we make counsel, like we come together and we tell you all, 20 years old and up. You understand? Guess what? That's in the scriptures, and the Lord honor that. You understand? That's the kind of power that we have. You know, that's the kind of power when leaders come together in the spirit of Christ and make decisions. You know, so y'all keep playing. We tell you we deliver you to Satan, trust me. You know what I mean? Some of you brothers and sisters that doing all type of evil stuff and you don't want to repent, you know, because when you read the scripture, it says, whoever you forgive, whatever you remiss, are remiss, and whatever you retain. You know, because some people you're going to forgive them. You know, they come, they do some evil stuff, they come, they repent, and you say, yo, we forgive this brother. And then you just got some demons where, yo, you like, Lord, you deliver that person up to Satan. You know, and that's what it is. You know, but that was some heavy stuff, man. Yo, clap your hand for Deacon Item, man. You know what I mean? That was some heavy stuff right there. You know, I hope you all, listen, don't let the understanding flee you all, man. So we the men get power. You understand? Got power. The father got ultimate power over his daughter. The father, according to the scripture, the father is the one that got the ultimate power over marriage. You know? So sex is part of it, but sex by itself do not constitute marriage. The father is the one that usually set that up. You know, that's why when you read with Samson, remember the father, Samson said, "Yo, I want my wife." You know, and
somebody else. I gave it to your friend or something like that.
Yeah, and the father said, "Listen, I gave her to somebody else." Mm-hmm. You know why? Because the father had the power to do that. He said, "Man, I gave her to somebody else." You know. Anyways, all right. So yo, we got an announcement. All right.
I'm gonna do some name changes first. All right. In Toronto, the house of Brother Eliasab are no longer Greeks. In Atlanta, Officer Rosh is no longer a Galatian. The whole house has changed their name. All praises. In Memphis, Officer Menachem is no longer an Ephesian. In Portland, the brother Andre is now Michael Antipus ben Israel. All right, you can put the first ad. All right. This is for the Passover kitchen team. Heads of the kitchen must report to Captain Erel via Telegram DM. That's at Erel_Ben_Israel. We're looking for volunteers, all right? Sisters, put your brick in. And brothers too. Next ad. All right. This is for the Passover unleavened bread team. Must have 2 years of experience required making the bread that Jesus would approve of. So if Jesus is not in the room, sisters, don't bake the bread. Volunteers needed. All sisters already on the bread team must participate. Everyone, including volunteers, DM Captain Erel via Telegram at Erel_Ben_Israel. Next ad. All right. This is the trailer for the new watch and read, The Curse of Miriam. Let's see it.
Prophet among you. I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision. My servant Moses, who is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?
Regret for what I've done.
All praises, all praises. So brothers and sisters, that video comes out tomorrow morning at 9:30. Make sure your kids watch it. Make sure you watch it. All right? Hit like, subscribe, and share. Next video. This is the Mia promo. MIA.
Gotta get in my lane, straight is the way to the gate, straight is the way to the gate, in my lane.
I'm gone, can't stick around for too long. I'm moving on.
In my lane.
I've been missing, I'm just in action.
In my lane.
Trying my best to remake blame. Angels fleeing from sin.
In my lane.
I've been missing, I'm just in action.
All praises available February 7th. All right, on all streaming platforms, but make sure you get it from originalroyalty.com. Next one. All right, this is the new Shout Out Tuesday challenge from IUIC London. Play that. Let's see this heat.
He put in the work. Pushing Nathaniel, yeah, he a prophet sent back to the earth, back to the earth. He sent you to wake up the people and tell them, come out of the church, come out of the church. He ready for war, soon as they wanna get out of the dirt, out of the dirt, ay. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Got the juice, I ain't talking no week late, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say, thank the Lord that he showed us a new way. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Got the juice, I ain't talking no week late, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say, thank the Lord that he showed us a new way.
Them man thought they're winning this war, but they're really not. Sons of God, yeah, we're really tough. Them man thought we meet defeat, nah, they really flop. And I don't like to repeat my songs, so the DJ can wheel it up.
He put in the work. Pushing Nathaniel, yeah, he a prophet sent back to the earth, back to the earth. He sent you to wake up the people and tell them, come out of the church, come out of the church. He ready for war, soon as they wanna get out of the dirt, out of the dirt, ay. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Got the juice, I ain't talking no week late, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say, thank the Lord that he showed us a new way. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Got the juice, I ain't talking no week late, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say, thank the Lord that he showed us a new way.
Them man thought they're winning this war, but they're really not. Sons of God, yeah, we're really tough. Them man thought we meet defeat, nah, they really flop. And I don't like to repeat my songs, so the DJ can wheel it up. Keeping the Lord, better shout out. Christ is black, better shout out. Hitting the streets, teaching our peeps, crying aloud and we shout out. They type our screen, you'll see them in the streets. Man would've thought they ain't allowed out. Man, I ain't letting you no bow out. Christ is king, better bow out.
Bow that knee and the lines get stamped. Brothers in purple, golden girdle, yeah, with the lines in the camp. Bringing out all this truth, better put all that oil in your lamp. Christ is the king, never gonna lose, yeah, call him the champ. When you get that milk, yeah, we're giving them laws. Spiritual food, meat well done, but with the truth, yeah, we're giving it raw. Give me that Bible, give me that sword. Just like the Romans, they taught us a new way. Run from the church, come to the truth, and I shout out Tuesday.
He put in the work. Pushing Nathaniel, yeah, he a prophet sent back to the earth, back to the earth. He sent you to wake up the people and tell them, come out of the church, come out of the church. He ready for war, soon as they wanna get out of the dirt, out of the dirt. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Got the juice, I ain't talking no week late, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say, thank the Lord that he showed us a new way. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Got the juice, I ain't talking no week late, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say, thank the Lord that he showed us a new way.
Showed us a new way. Teach every week, plus it's us every Tuesday. Keeping these laws, that's our doing. Pray to the Lord that he's used me. He been surviving these devilish times, trying to hunt down and seduce me. Spiritually armed, so I'm loading it up, setting it off like a Uzi. We put in the work. To the ground man go, catch my bro, just put in the dirt. Bishop and family be teaching our people all over the world. Organisation be back and we patient, it's time to get healed.
Yeah, cut 'em up and buck 'em up. Settle down when we step up. You're humble down. We shut them up. They turn and run when the scriptures come. We run them up. Come for the shout out, stay for the word, man, to see what's what. Don't cut the beat, you little, bring it back, let them feel that drop. Tell Pastor Port, belly feel them chops. Run through Galatians, can't save the nations. I get exposed when I unload, I'm leaning drop.
He put in the work. Bishop Nathaniel, yeah, he a prophet back to the earth, back to the earth. He sent you to wake up the people and tell them, come out of the church, come out of the church. He's ready for war, as soon as they run and get out of the dirt, out of the dirt. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday.
Got the juice, I ain't talking opinionate, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say. Thank the Lord that he showed us a new way.
Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday.
Got the juice, I ain't talking opinionate, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say. Thank the Lord that he showed us a new way.
All praises, all praises. London came with it. All right. This is for IUIC members only. If you want to join the Shout Out Tuesday Challenge, is email it to Officer Jalil at iuicmusicdepartment@gmail.com. All right. Passover announcement. Everyone who requested a Passover 2021 voucher will be added to the Passover 2021 group no later than Tuesday, February 2nd. If you have not been added by that date, please send an email to info@royaleventplanning.net. All right. What's the next ad or promo? Go ahead, play it.
Oh man, another batch of unleavened bread jacked up. What am I gonna do? Lord help me.
Come on.
Been waiting on that unlit. What the hell?
Oh, no.
No, man. Bread just burnt.
Deacon Lava gonna be so mad at me.
Yo, whoever make this bread, try again.
All praise.
Y'all are terrible, man. Caught me off guard.
What's the next one? No, there was two more. I see it. Up. Keep going up. You missed it. Ain't it those two right there? You played it? Okay. All praises. So let's break bread.
Everybody got bread and wine? For I received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Jesus, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, Take, eat. This is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye, as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he come. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord. But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. For this cause, many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. In the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we pray and thank you, Lord. Amen.
Deacon Laba would approve. All praises.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Israel, are you ready? Always ready. Are you ready? Always ready. Who's the king? Right. Who's the king? Right. Who's the king? Right. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? Faith, passion, salvation. Faith, passion, salvation. Faith, passion, salvation. And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His what? His what? His what? His what? Happy Sabbath.
You try. You did your thing. All praises. Hey, brothers and sisters, you'll stay in the spirit. You'll keep enduring. You brothers and sisters that scattered throughout the four corners of the earth that are watching us right now, you'll keep enduring. You all don't give up the fight. You all don't fall out of this truth. Stay faithful. You know, brothers out there in London, you all drop it hot with the you know, you brothers in how you say in London? How you say that, the accent? You all did it, man. You all bring some fire with that right there with the challenge, you know. I want to shout you all out, man. You already know. You already know. That was fire right there, man. You know, so you all stay in the spirit and stay strong, man, and keep enduring, brothers and sisters. All right? So that's it.